Under LV Chilian's guidance, Chen Xiang felt that he had arrived at a sea of flowers, and LV Chilian's divine sense CS had also cultivated up to a small world. At this moment, he had arrived at a valley that was filled with colorful plants, and the surrounding mountains were filled with beautiful and dazzling flowers. Under LV Chilian's guidance, Chen Xiang felt that he had arrived at a sea of flowers, and LV Chilian's divine sense CS had also cultivated up to a small world. At this moment, he had arrived at a valley that was filled with colorful plants, and the surrounding mountains were filled with beautiful and dazzling flowers. LV Chilian's soul sat atop a white lotus in a lake in the valley. Dressed in a white dress, she seemed to have merged with the huge white lotus, making her look holy and beautiful. Your divine sense C is really beautiful. Chen Xiang praised. As expected, everyone's divine sense C is different, and it has a lot to do with her soul. I received a lot of inspiration from your divine sense C last time, plus my cultivation with you. So, in an instant, he broke through the bottleneck that had hindered me for many years, advanced by leaps and bounds, and formed his own divine sense C world. LV Chilian moaned softly, her voice was gentle and light, and her expression was relaxed. A while ago, she had truly witnessed many powerful existences in this world. Her father's strength made her feel reverence, and Chen Xiang, who was once much weaker than her, had now even surpassed her. Towards Chen Xiang's current strength, she felt a deep reverence from the bottom of her heart. It was because Chen Xiang had once saved her when she was very weak and poisoned a holy beast, so the current Chen Xiang was even more unfathomable. LV Chilian floated gently towards Chen Xiang from atop the bead's gigantic white lotus. Is your true divine soul still in heavenly dragon realm? Could it be that my current divine soul is unable to do so? As Chen Xiang looked at LV Chilian's beautiful face, which carried a light smile, although the current LV Chilian no longer had that kind of arrogance, she still gave others a feeling of holiness and inviolability. LV Chilian chuckled. Are you afraid that my small divine sense C world won't be able to accommodate you? She then said seriously, the cultivation experience of the alive slain method is extremely vast, it's difficult for your wisp of soul to be able to contain it all in one go. Chen Xiang didn't know why, but when he faced the current LV Chilian, he suddenly felt some pressure. Fine. I'll have my soul come over right away. Chen Xiang said, let me out first and confirm my location. My physical body is coming along as well. Physical body. Chen Xiang immediately started to let his imagination run wild. Don't let your imagination run wild. LV Chilian scoffed, hurry. Chen Xiang left LV Chilian's divine sense C. He was currently in LV Chilian's room, in a secret room that was constructed deep underground. Long Shui saw Chen Xiang open his eyes. His forehead was perspiring profusely, so he asked anxiously, what's wrong? Have been abused by the Flower Emperor. Chen Xiang took a deep breath. If you mistreat me, I might feel better, but this woman is too good and even allowed my body to pass through. Long Shui immediately became excited. Is this for me to devote my life to you? No way, I want to go with you. Stop bulls. Hi plus Ting, her father is devil-suppressing heavenly venerable, I'm just looking for death. Chen Xiang shook her head. Don't think too much about it, she probably just wants to guide me in refining the spirit liquid. Running back and forth all day, how tiring. Chen Xiang once again opened up the spatial pause sageway, and went to LV Chilian's room. Seeing Chen Xiang walk over so easily, LV Chilian was a little surprised. Your control of S.P. A.C. is way beyond my imagination. My father said that he wouldn't even be able to reach your level. When Chen Xiang followed the Dragon Emperor across the S.P. A.C. to head to Heavenly Dragon Realm, many of the experts present gasped in surprise. Have you fused with a rule spiritual bead and mastered the laws of S.P. A.C.? LV Qilian suddenly thought of something and asked curiously. This was Chen Xiang's secret. He had never told anyone before, but LV Qilian actually knew about it. How do you know? Chen Xiang said. Even if my control over SPAC is very strong, you probably won't be able to tell. LV Qilian rolled her eyes as she lowered her head and softly said, Last time? When we were cultivating together, I could sense a lot of your things. Thinking about the GODS join method technique, there were indeed many things that would be exposed if he practiced with LV Qilian. Let's begin. Your soul will enter my divine sense C. LV Qilian came to the bedside and sat cross-legged on top of it. Seeing that Chen Xiang was standing there unmoving, she urged, Hurry and come over. Chen Xiang stared blankly at him for a while, then walked over and sat on the bed as well. He closed his eyes, released his divine soul, and entered LV Qilian's divine sense C world, returning to that quiet valley. Your soul is powerful again. LV Qilian could very clearly feel that even her divine sense C world was trembling, because Chen Xiang's divine sense C was simply too strong. Chen Xiang immediately suppressed the power of his divine soul. Once he obtained a set of divine deity, his divine soul would naturally become extremely terrifying. Only by using this method can you quickly obtain the experience of my alive slain method, and allow you to use it quickly. LV Qilian said as a beam of white light shot out from between the brows of her divine soul, entering the center of Chen Xiang's brows. Then, she softly said, Don't resist, I will do my best to share my memories and thoughts with you. Thank you. Chen Xiang was extremely grateful. He knew that LV Qilian had sacrificed a lot like this, because this was equivalent to hiding something in his heart and opening it up to Chen Xiang without reservation. Chen Xiang suddenly seemed to know what LV Qilian was thinking, but LV Qilian had controlled his thoughts very well, and appeared to be very calm. At this time, something related to the alive slain method suddenly appeared in Chen Xiang's mind, as if it had fused with his memories. Chen Xiang saw an extremely beautiful little girl, who was frowning as she faced a cliff. That cliff was the place where Chen Xiang had learnt the alive slain method. All of the memories between LV Qilian and the alive slain method could make Chen Xiang have a deeper and more thorough comprehension of this matter. Those memories flashed past Chen Xiang's mind at lightning speed, but Chen Xiang could clearly feel that the little girl had experienced an extremely long period of time. She had gone from a little girl to a slim and graceful young lady, and in the end, she had grown into a mature and charming peerless beauty. A large amount of memories blended into Chen Xiang's sea of consciousness. That was because LV Qilian had thousands of years of experience cultivating a live slain method, and only 2 people with a strong divine soul could accomplish such a thing with close contact with a divine soul. LV Qilian's memories were very boring and dull, but later on, there was a memory that left a deep impression on Chen Xiang. It was when LV Qilian had kissed him in the Absolute Monarch Sanctuary, when his creation divine liquid and LV Qilian's spirit liquid had fused together, and the 2 of them operated the technique to condense spirit liquid. They had kissed for a very long time, and LV Qilian had actually tried to do it a few times after that. Alright, how much you can harvest will depend on you. LV Qilian's face was a little flushed, because she didn't expect herself to not have hidden that memory of hers, allowing Chen Xiang to see it. Chen Xiang looked at LV Qilian, his heart thumping hard. He did not expect this high and mighty flower emperor to have such a thought about him, which made him excited. Chen Xiang looked at LV Qilian, his heart thumping hard. He did not expect this high and mighty flower emperor to have such a thought about him, which made him excited. The atmosphere was a little awkward. LV Qilian turned his head away and said softly, You can leave my divine sense see. In order to avoid any awkwardness, LV Qilian hurriedly got off the bed. I need a large amount of medicinal ingredients during this time, so you should cultivate properly here. If you have any, come to the training room next door and find me. LV Chilian left the room and sat on the bed, feeling a little disappointed. He shook his head and stopped thinking about the complicated feelings between him and LV Chilian. Little scoundrel, how is it? Have you eaten her yet? Long Xue's voice echoed within Chen Xiang's divine sense. When Chen Xiang left the heavenly region, he left a trace of his divine soul within Long Xue's divine sense. What are you thinking? Chen Xiang snorted. It's been more than 10 days but nothing happened. Long Xue curled his lips. It's really useless. Chen Xiang ignored her and focused on organizing the cultivation experiences that LV Chilian gave him. He and LV Chilian actually went on for more than 10 days. This time, his understanding of the alive slain method was very simple. Previously, many of the difficulties had now been cleared up for him, allowing him to operate the alive slain method very smoothly, absorbing the Holy Spirit Qi outside. Adding to his body and the strange energy in the divine sense, he was able to condense the spirit liquid on his tongue. 1 drop every 2 hours, that's too slow. Chen Xiang looked at the transparent drop of spirit liquid that was emitting a faint red light. He had no idea how powerful this spirit liquid was. LV Chilian could condense a lot in 2 hours, she only needed to condense spirit liquid for a month's time. This speed made Chen Xiang envious, but for Long Xue's appet, 1T it was still too slow. Chen Xiang walked out of the room and knocked on the door. Come in. LV Chilian shouted lightly. Chen Xiang pushed open the door and entered. A burst of fragrance immediately salted his nose. This fragrance immediately made Chen Xiang remember the last time she kissed LV Chilian, the fragrance of the spirit liquid in her mouth. Sister Chilian, how is the spirit liquid compared to yours? Chen Xiang took out a jade box. Inside it was a drop of the spirit liquid he just condensed. LV Chilian sat cross-legged on the carpet. In front of her were a few jade bottles. Inside them were the spirit liquids that she condensed, and a burst of fragrance wafted out. He's as strong as mine. How long did you take to condense 1 drop? LV Chilian nodded his head in satisfaction. 2 hours. Chen Xiang said somewhat embarrassedly, because he knew that LV Chilian was much faster than him. That's right. As long as we can get familiar with each other, you'll become like me very soon. LV Chilian returned the drop of spirit liquid to Chen Xiang. Chen Xiang squatted down and picked up a jade bottle. Looking at the spirit liquid that LV Chilian condensed, he asked, "Why is there no such fragrance? Is it because you ate too many flowers? Why is it so fragrant?" LV Chilian chuckled. "This might be related to my physique, if not why would others call me Flower Emperor? The spirit liquid you have right now is exactly the same to me, there's no difference, it's just that the smell is different." Chen Xiang shook his head. "I don't think so, why don't we mix our powers together and take a look?" Last time when Chen Xiang fused his creation divine liquid with LV Chilian, they had become extremely far apart, and even LV Chilian found it difficult to understand them. LV Chilian nodded. She also wanted to see what would happen. She took the jade box from Chen Xiang's hands and dripped a drop of her own spirit liquid onto Chen Xiang's drop. The 2 drops actually fused together quickly without any change, but Chen Xiang and LV Chilian were frowning. Because when the 2 drops of spirit liquid fuse, even if there was no change, the 1 drop should at least be a little larger, or at least the sum of the 2 drops. Previously, when his creation divine liquid and LV Chilian's spirit liquid fuse, not only would there be a huge change, the other drop would also become a lot larger. But now, when their 2 spirit liquids merged together, it was extremely strange. "This is true fusion," Chen Xiang said. "Add another drop of your spirit liquid." LV Chilian did as he was told, but this drop of water was unable to merge with the previous one, and was rejected. "Concentrate 1 more drop, 2 more drops yours, 2 more drops mine, and see if the result is the same." LV Qilian said. If fusing with Chen Xiang's spirit liquid had a huge effect, she would not have to bitterly stay here to cultivate all day. Chen Xiang immediately activated a live slain method and started to refine. After 2 hours, he took out a drop of spirit liquid and dripped it into the jade box, fusing it with the drop that LV Qilian had rejected. At this time, there were 2 separate drops inside the jade box. LV Qilian shook the jade box, and when the 2 drops collided, it was as she had expected. It was like 2 grains of rice colliding and then fusing into one, but only as big as one. At this moment, the 4 drops of water had become one, although the water droplets did not become larger. Chen Xiang and LV Qilian both knew that these 4 drops of water had been compressed at a high level, and the quality was extremely high. Chen Xiang laughed. I already said that our spirit liquids are different. Could it be that this is due to the difference between yin and yang? LV Qilian frowned. He shook the jade box and used his divine power to observe the drop of spirit liquid carefully, then said, "Let me try and see how effective this thing is." She took out a piece of jade dragon flower pendant and wanted to use the jade dragon flower to try it. If it was only my spirit liquid, I would normally need 1,000 drops in order for this petal to turn into a complete jade dragon flower. It's the most mature type, with 10 petals. LV Qilian said. Chen Xiang said, "We only have 4 drops, it's better to use some low-grade medicinal ingredients." LV Qilian shook his head. After fusing, it won't only be 4 drops. According to my speculations, the effect should be at least 20 to 30 times the original, which is equivalent to around 100 drops. If I can create a single petal, it would prove that my speculations were correct. In this regard, LV Qilian had a lot of experience. She, a woman, relied on these spirit liquids to establish this strong hundreds of flowers palace. LV Qilian dropped the petal inside the jade box and dripped it into the 4-in-1 spirit liquid. After dropping it onto it, a petal quickly appeared beside the root of the flower petal. So it's like that. With the 2 of us working together, it won't be long before your seed sprouts. LV Qilian's eyes burned with excitement. Don't you have a seed that can lead to the heaven realm when it is planted? That heaven realm is full of strange flowers and herbs. Back then, when Chen Xiang gave the seed to LV Qilian, he also gave it back to him later on. Chen Xiang didn't even have a good impression of the heavenly regions. Did you forget that you and little Lizzie almost lost your lives in that absolute monarch sanctuary the other time? Chen Xiang shook her head. If that heaven realm has the same large amount of strange flowers and herbs as the legends, then the beasts or humans there would definitely be even more powerful. So, for us to head to that place, it would be best to wait until everything is prepared. Yes. LV Qilian wanted to go with Chen Xiang. Chen Xiang had a lot of schemes and her strength was strong, so following him would definitely be very safe. But if Chen Xiang didn't want to go now, there was nothing she could do. Chen Xiang said, "Sister Qilian, why don't we work together for a while and fuse a bit more spirit liquid? This way we can speed up the production of a large number of high-grade herbs. Right now, I need a large batch of immortal grade 2nd rank, 3rd rank, and 4th rank medicinal ingredient." What is the high CLA?S medicinal ingredient that you are talking about? LV Qilian asked. Chen Xiang laughed. It's above immortal grade 7, but I don't have it right now. Only sacred animal fruit S and Tianlong Dan S that can grow. Right now, I can condense 10 drops in 2 hours. You have to catch up to my speed first. LV Qilian said. Those above immortal grade 7 are extremely rare, but I can still purchase them. Chen Xiang nodded. I'll cultivate here with you. He took out a dozen or so holy stone S and placed them around him. This could provide them with more holy spirit qi. Chen Xiang had already guessed that Chen Xiang would have a great harvest from the absolute monarch sanctuary, and these holy stone were what she needed the most. These holy stone were taken out by you from the dragon vein, or perhaps from that absolute monarch sanctuary. LV Qilian also wanted to know how the evolution of Chen Xiang's dragon vein was progressing. It's been a long time since I've returned to the evil dragon graveyard. Even without me, that place can still function normally, reducing the reliance on me and making the dragon subduing school even more hardworking and powerful. Chen Xiang laughed, although it looked like he was trying to find an excuse to be lazy. Over the years, Dragon Subduing School did not rely on his support to become very strong, so in the future, even without him, Dragon Subduing School would not become weak. The two of them started to condense spirit liquid, and without realizing it, Chen Xiang released his spirit. He felt that it was kind of boring and wanted to walk around to see D. Tion's Hundreds of Flowers Palace. Focus, catch up to my speed. LV Qilian shouted softly. Upon sensing the power of Chen Xiang's divine soul, her divine soul couldn't help but tremble, as if their divine soul only knew of a miraculous connection. It's just that I'm not familiar enough. After I get familiar with you, I should be able to catch up to you. Chen Xiang used his soul to communicate with LV Qilian. Sister Qilian, are you using this spirit liquid to let the Holy Spirit Rabbit reproduce? I heard that the Holy Spirit Rabbit are extremely difficult to reproduce. Yu Xuelian, after Mu Jialan and her daughter joined the Hundreds of Flowers Palace, I had a secret talk with them. After a few attempts, I used a large amount of spirit liquid and finally produced 7. When LV Qilian spoke of this matter, he became a little agitated. Those Holy Spirit Rabbit are actually not holy beasts, but a top-notch holy-level elixir. Chen Xiang was suspicious before, so he smiled and said, "Doesn't that mean that the women of your Hundreds of Flowers Palace can rely on their strong physical bodies to dominate us in the future? That is not it. To be able to unleash the effects of the Holy Spirit Rabbit's blood is not something anyone can do. But if you work hard to cultivate, are willing to work hard, and are ambitious people, you can use the Holy Spirit Rabbit's blood. If you only want to rely on the Holy Spirit Rabbit's blood, being lazy in terms of cultivation is completely useless." LV Qilian said, "Snow Lotus and the other two are very experienced with the use of Jade Rabbit blood, so I arranged for them to choose the appropriate disciples and then secretly use Jade Rabbit blood to cultivate. I haven't seen them in a long time. I really want to go look for them now." Chen Xiang laughed. "Their bodies should be powerful now." "Of course." LV Qilian suddenly opened his eyes with a strange expression on his face. "Your relations. HI plus P with the three of them seems to be pretty good." "It's just a relations. HI plus P of friends. HI plus P someone worth trusting." Chen Xiang laughed. "Why are you so sensitive?" LV Qilian snorted. "Then what about the beautiful G? Oh Des, she seems to also have an unclear relations. HI plus P with you, don't recklessly harm my Hundreds of Flowers Palace's disciples. The beautiful G, oh Des is also my friend, so of course I wouldn't dare to do anything to her. G Meixian's background is quite impressive, didn't she tell you before?" Chen Xiang asked. "No, I also know that she has a strong background. But she said that you and her are very close, and Phoenix King strongly recommended her, so Shui Ying that girl said some good words for her." At this time, LV Qilian became more and more interested in Ji Meixian's ident. 1. Tai, can you tell me about her? Thought for a moment. This is still up to her. When you're looking for her, tell her that I told you to go ask her. It seems that your relations, HI plus P with her is even closer than I imagined. LV Qilian said. Just like you and me, or Qinlian and I, we can trust each other, but we don't have that kind of relations. HI plus P, Chen Xiang laughed. BASTARD, LV Qilian scolded lightly. Did you treat my Hundreds of Flowers Palace as your imperial harem? Chen Xiang laughed heartily. So you're saying that you're helping me manage the palace master of the imperial harem. You said so yourself. LV Chilian's face was a little red. Within her hundreds of flowers palace, there were many girls who had good relations with Chen Xiang, and they were all extremely outstanding. Even she had that kind of indescribable relations, Hi+P with Chen Xiang, but she could do nothing to him, and she could not harden her heart to break off relations. Hi+P with him. Concentrate, focus. Chen Xiang recited these words, but his strong and lively soul remained floating in the training room, causing LV Chilian to keep his eyes on him, to prevent his soul from running around. After all, the hundreds of flowers palace was filled with girls. She was worried that Chen Xiang would run over there and peek at the girls bathing. Big Sister Chilian, has your father told you anything about Devil Killing Summit? Recently, Night Devil H.E.L. has been in a state of unrest. Chen Xiang said. Even the Devil Killing Summit has turned black. LV Chilian said. I am now handing over hundreds of flowers palaces to Little Lizzie and Qinlian. Both of them have rich management experience. I plan to go into closed-door cultivation for a period of time, so I do not really understand these things. My father just said that he wanted to revive devil-suppressing Divine Palace and deal with the sudden change in Night Devil H.E.L. So that means you're the main palace master, Qinlian is the second palace master, and Little Lizzie is the third palace master. Chen Xiang laughed. More or less, but they all have the same amount of power. LV Chilian glared at Chen Xiang fiercely. Previously, Chen Xiang had teased him many times and called him his little wife or something like that. Chen Xiang curled his lips. Don't look at me like that, your hundreds of flowers palace is able to rope in so many outstanding and powerful women. I have done a great service. If you need me, I can help you find a few stronger ones in the future. LV Chilian had admitted that he had helped her gather many outstanding women, but she was very worried that this place would become Chen Xiang's imperial harem. LV Chilian had admitted that he had helped her gather many outstanding women, but she was very worried that this place would become Chen Xiang's imperial harem. Chen Xiang's refining speed had already increased. She could produce 2 drops in 2 hours, but it was still far from LV Chilian's level. She had condensed 10 drops in 2 hours, and now LV Chilian was replicating a large amount of Yuxian Dan medicinal herbs. Your hundreds of flowers palace consumes so many medicinal ingredients so quickly. Chen Xiang asked. Of course you can. Qianqian and Xiangyue's pill refining skills are already very high. There are many pills out there, so the speed is fast and the quality is high. LV Chilian knew that the relations, Hi+P between Chen Xiang and Chen Xiang was very good, because the pill refining skills the two of them used were very similar to that of Chen Xiang. Chen Xiang said in surprise, I only gave Qianqian and Xiangyue some pointers in the past, but they're already this powerful now. My hundreds of flowers palace lacks a lot of outstanding female alchemists. Don't hurt them. LV Chilian looked at Chen Xiang with a strict expression. Chen Xiang laughed. Xiangyue is already my person, and she's even my female slave. How could I possibly hurt her? Beast. LV Chilian snorted. You lack an outstanding female alchemist, I'll help you look for one. It just so happens that I have a candidate and her relations. Hi+P with Qianqian Xiangyue is also very good. She's also beautiful and has a solid foundation. Chen Xiang laughed. Grand Asgard Mistress, do you accept her? LV Chilian said as his brows furrowed. How could I not know who this female alchemist is? But if you want to find her, you have to first find Yen Xilan. I will give you a set of secret records. You can contact her if you go anywhere and mark them. Then, ask her to gather her sisters and join the hundreds of flowers palace. Chen Xiang replied. Yen Xilan was originally at the Ice Dragon Villa, but she has been out on a tour recently. Sister Xilan is very powerful, a divine cultivator who started cultivating the divine way a long time ago. I've heard of her, but I've never been able to find her. LV Chilian nodded her head. Towards these outstanding women, She had always wanted to win them over to her hundreds of flowers palace. Yen Xilan was the famous Xilon immortal fairy a long time ago, and she had tried a few times to rope him in, but Yen Xilan had rejected her attempts. And now, with just a single sentence, Chen Xiang was able to persuade her. She had to admit Chen Xiang was very good with women. LV Qilian asked, "That outstanding alchemist, what's her name?" Chen Xiang said, "She is called Du Yenyao, her grandfather is called Du Hai, a high-ranking Dan immortal who travels everywhere, and is currently as powerful as Li Tianjun. Don't worry, the person I recommend cannot be wrong." "I know about her and you." LV Qilian sighed. Back then, he could still gather some information regarding Chen Xiang at Sacred Dan Realm. Chen Xiang laughed sinisterly. "You know how powerful I am in the future, you must help me take care of them." LV Qilian snorted twice and said, "You're so amazing, help me find a few outstanding girls, I will be grateful to you. Say, as long as you have their whereabouts, I will help you lure them to the hundreds of flowers palace." Chen Xiang said very confidently. "By Yu Su Meiyao, by Ziqian, Yui immortal fairy, they are all famous women from many years ago, and their strengths and potential are all extremely huge. Back then, they had already done many earth-shattering things, but they have already been missing for many years." LV Qilian replied, "I've been looking for them for many years, even if it's by Ziqian, I still dare to accept them." Bai Ziqian also used the magical corruption gas, but that was something that happened a long time ago. At that time, Chen Xiang wasn't even born yet, so LV Qilian didn't make a connection between Chen Xiang and his magical corruption gas. Chen Xiang did not expect LV Qilian to think about these four women for so long. He laughed. "There are two that I have settled. Ji Meixian is Yu immortal fairy." "What? It really is her? No wonder I keep having the feeling that her way of doing things is so familiar." LV Qilian said in surprise, "There's one more. By Ziqian, I introduced her to your mother. She is currently following the Grandma LV, and if I meet her in the future, I think I will just have to say a few words. She will definitely join the hundreds of flowers palace, and Sister Qinlian will use poison as well." Chen Xiang laughed. LV Qilian took a deep breath. What Chen Xiang had done in the dark had surprised her. She did not think that Chen Xiang had actually come into contact with powerful women like Bai Ziqian and Bai Ziqian before, and she was suddenly very curious about what had happened between them. "Go and ask Ji Meixian about the details. It involves more of her secrets. Without her permission, I can't say more," Chen Xiang said. LV Qilian nodded his head. "She is Yu immortal fairy, so even if I wanted to find out her secret, I wouldn't be able to. Since I want to rope her in, I naturally trust her a lot. It's just that Bai Ziqian is a bit troublesome, she's a witch after all. But if she's with my mother, it should be much better. I'm just afraid that she won't approve of me." Right now, she knew that Bai Ziqian definitely had quite a few of Chen Xiang's super old poison on him. She had to admit that Chen Xiang's methods of winning the hearts of others were very generous, and gave some of the things that others needed the most. Of course, she didn't know that Chen Xiang being magnanimous to Bai Ziqian was because he was Bai Yuyu's elder sister. "Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu, how much do you know about them?" These two women who changed her fate respected LV Qilian very much. Therefore, in order to repay them, Chen Xiang had to be of the greatest help to the hundreds of flowers palace. Shook his head. "I don't know much about it. Back then, they were chased and injured by their enemies, and I had kept them for a period of time, but they were worried that it would implicate me, so they left again. I was in closed-door cultivation during that period of time, so I did not have much contact with them." Chen Xiang said, "Do you know how many enemies they have? You actually dared to easily take them in?" LV Qilian said in a cold voice. "Even though Bai Yuyu is a demoness of the first generation, the two of them have done many good deeds together while she is with Su Meiyao, and their character is still rather good, so I really admire them. As long as they join the hundreds of flowers palace, the ones chasing after them will be my enemies. The current LV Qilian had the aura of a great emperor. Chen Xiang thought that her emperors might have been erased, but now, it seems that she had restrained herself, and if there was a day when she had sufficient strength, this aura would return to her body. Chen Xiang said, "If you are prepared to shelter them, then prepare to deal with Mei Emperor, which is their greatest enemy. You know a lot about them." LV Qilian said, "Could it be that you're also looking for them?" Bai Ziqian is Bai Yuyu's big sister. She told me. Chen Xiang did not want to reveal anything related to them yet. Bai Ziqian is Bai Yuyu's big sister. She told me. Chen Xiang did not want to reveal anything related to them yet. Like the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord back then, she had roped all the heroes of the realm and helped him achieve his goals. It was just that LV Qilian only took in females. If she really became one in the future, she would definitely have a lot of power and influence in the new generation of emperors. There was another reason why Chen Xiang and LV Qilian had mentioned the Mei Emperor. It was because he wanted to find the Mei Emperor and bring the head and soul of the Mei Emperor before Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu. Where are you in the Mei Emperor? She was heavily injured back then, but she definitely wasn't dead. Chen Xiang said, "If this woman revives, I dare say that she will definitely be your #1 opponent in the future." LV Qilian frowned. Mei Emperor used her unrivaled charm to confuse many strong warriors, and even great Yan Jing found a great number of rare treasures and various powerful techniques. Even if she was severely injured, she must have recovered in these few 100,000 years, and her strength was even stronger. Chen Xiang chuckled. "So you better get your father's attention. Mei Emperor is specifically focused on this kind of strong and difficult to subdue man." LV Qilian sneered. "The one who should be careful is you, and you still have the nerve to talk about others. There are a lot of women around me, but they definitely aren't the ones who attract me. They are the ones who establish a relations H+P of trust between me and them. I don't believe that if you strip right now, I won't even touch you." Chen Xiang said with complete confidence, "A woman who can seduce me has yet to be born." LV Qilian disapproved and continued to sneer. "That's where you're wrong. Mei Emperor isn't strong not because of her attractive appearance, but because of her unique charm. She eats both genders, and there were many women who were defeated by her at that time." Chen Xiang was immediately furious. "This woman truly deserves to die. I am already a woman, and am hurting so many women. How good is it for me? I must kill her." LV Qilian said seriously. "Even if you are not affected by her, you have to guarantee that your friends in the dragon subduing school are not bewitching. Also, those women by your side, in the eyes of the Mei Emperor, are all good prey. That's why I wanted to bring them to you so that you could train their resistance to this." Chen Xiang sighed. He was truly worried about this. Mei Emperor definitely already knew about Tian. Maybe he had already successfully bewitched a large group of people to help her. LV Qilian said, "Don't worry, I am not an ordinary person. I have done my research on the Mei Emperor very thoroughly, and all I can do is to be stronger than her." Chen Xiang and LV Qilian were discussing secrets while concocting spirit liquid. Although they always acted as if water and fire were not compatible, they could still chat for a few days when chatting. "Chen Xiang, I will definitely become a flower emperor in the future. What about you? Your current strength should be very close to the emperor level." LV Qilian asked. "My next goal is to concoct pills. I have mastered all of the celestial slaying method, but right now I am mainly training in alive slaying method. You should know that the heaven-earth killing method is extremely flexible, and different people can use different effects, so I might use it differently from you in the future." Chen Xiang smiled faintly. He had already decided on a direction in his heart. With your talent in alchemy, this direction is the right one. Back then, the person who obtained the Tli of ancestor was the Dan Emperor. You might become an ancestor in the future. LV Qilian agreed with Chen Xiang's direction very much and thought very highly of him. Chen Xiang laughed. It's only the ancestor. LV Chilian smiled. Then what else do you want? Is the venerable emperor not enough? How can you not be a god? You should have heard about the matters of the Hel devil emperor, right? That fellow is a god, the god of Hel. No matter what kind of emperor you are, you have to kneel in front of these gods. Chen Xiang said indifferently. The ancestor was indeed a bit too shabby for him who had the divine deity. LV Chilian sighed. God's realm. My father gave up everything for the sake of becoming a god back then, but in the end, he was still unable to enter the world of gods and was unable to pass the gods examination. Most importantly, he was unable to condense his divine deity. A god is also evolved from a mortal, so don't lose your confidence. No matter how difficult it is when the time comes, if you walk in that direction, no matter what the result is, at least you won't regret it. Chen Xiang said. LV Chilian nodded. Thinking back to when she was still a weak girl, she had never expected herself to have the kind of strength she did today. Chen Xiang was already able to condense 5 drops of spirit liquid within 2 hours. Let's try out the effects of the 20 drops of liquid each. Chen Xiang said. I will continue with the large amount of high-level medicinal ingredients. I want to break through to the holy pellet. This was also what LV Chilian needed the most. If Chen Xiang could succeed, if she wanted Chen Xiang to help her concoct the holy pellet, Chen Xiang would definitely not reject her request. Then let me leave my side for now. I will help you condense more spirit liquid. LV Chilian took a deep breath. Don't waste it recklessly. Chen Xiang smiled and nodded. Definitely not. LV Chilian poured 20 drops of spirit liquid into a jade bowl, and then poured 10 more of her spirit liquid into it. 40 drops of spirit liquid merged together into a single drop in an instant. It was extremely mystical. Even if it's 2 big bowls, they might melt into a single drop. Chen Xiang exclaimed. If the compression is that high, the quality must be very high. LV Chilian nodded. This drop should be enough to fill half of the holy level's spirit medicine. Chen Xiang anxiously took out a silver heart. This was a sacred heart fruit. Long Shui had always wanted to taste it. Try this. Chen Xiang gasped in surprise as he handed the sacred heart fruit over to LV Chilian. Where did you get it? LV Chilian was a little reluctant to cut it in half. Jiang Xing gave this to me. It's a divine craftsman. Chen Xiang urged, hurry up and cut it out. If you can duplicate it, I will give you one. All right. LV Chilian took out a sharp dagger and cut open the jumping sacred heart fruit. To have this kind of sacred heart fruit in the future, when he gave her time, she would be able to duplicate a large amount of it. LV Chilian dropped down her and Chen Xiang's spirit liquid from the cut on half of the sacred heart fruit, and the other half quickly grew back. It's a success, but there's one more side. Chen Xiang took out the remaining 20 drops of spirit liquid and handed them over to LV Chilian. Looks like we need to use 40 drops of spirit liquid to be able to make a copy of the holy level's ingredients. Under the fusion of their spirit liquids, 1 sacred heart fruit quickly became 2. Under the fusion of their spirit liquids, 1 sacred heart fruit quickly became 2. Here you go. Chen Xiang happily gave LV Chilian a sacred heart fruit. Thank you. LV Chilian gave him a gentle smile, placed him inside a jade box, and said, I will now start to condense spirit liquid for you. How much do you want? Chen Xiang thought for a moment, then said, 3,000 drops. You can condense 10 drops in 2 hours, and 100 drops would appear every day every 10 hours. This will take a month, and it will be very tiring. It's fine. I'll be fine at most once for half a year. LV Chilian laughed. It's worth it to work hard for 1 month in exchange for a sacred heart fruit. Seeing LV Chilian smiling so sweetly, Chen Xiang stared at her without blinking. LV Qilian withdrew her smile when she saw Qin Xiang's fiery gaze. She had obtained a sacred heart fruit and was indeed in an excellent mood. Sister Qilian, I think there's a way that might make our spirit liquid even more powerful. Qin Xiang's mind flashed, and he suddenly said, What method? LV Qilian frowned. She saw the naughty look in Qin Xiang's eyes and had a bad premonition. Qin Xiang scratched his head and laughed. Do you still remember the last time we kissed? No. LV Qilian already knew what method Qin Xiang was talking about and immediately refused. Sister Qilian, I really do not have any other evil intentions. I just wanted to verify my thoughts. You and I both know that the last time we had such a huge difference in our abilities, and I also don't know what a live slain method is. My spirit liquid was greatly different from yours, but it's different now. Qin Xiang righteously spoke with a serious face. Now that I have cultivated the alive slain method, my strength is almost the same as yours. When we refined the spirit liquid to fuse together, you have also personally witnessed the effect. Although Qin Xiang's flowery words sounded very reasonable, she still felt that Qin Xiang wanted to openly take advantage of her. In that case, forget it. Seeing LV Qilian's unwillingness, Qin Xiang sighed. Although LV Qilian looked unwilling on the surface, she still wanted to give it a try. Last time, when Qin Xiang kissed her, the two of them used their powers at the same time, causing the spirit liquid to quickly heal her injuries. It's fine to try, but you must promise me not to touch my body. LV Qilian seemed to have made an important decision. After she said it, she suddenly regretted it, but she was also filled with antic. 1p. Asian. Qin Xiang was overjoyed and immediately nodded in agreement, laughing. Let's do it on the bed. This is good enough. LV Qilian snorted lightly. Why aren't you coming over? LV Qilian sat on a soft blanket, and when he went over, he felt that this place was no different from a bed. He sat in front of LV Qilian and looked at that slightly embarrassed and beautiful face. Relax, it's not like we've never tried before. Qin Xiang laughed mischievously as he hugged LV Qilian's slender waist, causing LV Qilian to involuntarily lean into his embrace. B-A-S-T. A.R.D. LV Qilian raised her head to look at Qin Xiang. Just as she let out a low curse, her sandalwood mouth had already been stuffed shut by Qin Xiang, and she had already felt a warm tongue seeping into her mouth. She had done it even more shyly when she was at the G.O.D.S. join method, and she was even more familiar with kissing at that time. In the beginning, the two of them had actually kissed with great tacit understanding. Neither of them mentioned the matter of activating the alive slain method together, and the two even hugged each other even more tightly. LV Qilian had already taken the initiative to hug Qin Xiang's body, and the two of them kissed together without thinking. After a long while, the two finally parted their lips. LV Qilian's cheeks were slightly red, her head was lowered, and she was gasping for breath. It was obvious that she had entered a very excited state, and realized that her resistance to Qin Xiang had become weaker and weaker. Qin Xiang caressed her face and laughed. Let's begin, we've played enough just now, we can proceed without worry now. LV Qilian's chest rose and fell as she took a few deep breaths. A trace of emotion could be seen in her eyes as she nodded her head slightly. This time, she took the initiative to raise her head, and the two of them were like a couple. Qin Xiang laid down, allowing LV Qilian to lie on his broad and robust body, and sent her a sound transmission. Start the circulation of the alive slain method. You're still not very familiar with it yet. I'll cooperate with you. LV Qilian replied. The two of them were already very satisfied before this, but to be able to be so intimate with each other now, their hearts felt extremely happy. In order to test if cultivating the alive slain method together was effective, they had no choice but to put aside their emotions and focus on operating the alive slain method. Not long after, a layer of pale white light appeared around their bodies. The tips of their tongues intertwined as they slowly condensed a rephrase. HI plus ing energy. It's working. Chen Xiang excitedly transmitted his voice to LV Qilian, causing him to hug LV Qilian even more tightly. Be serious. LV Qilian said softly, this is a critical moment. Chen Xiang did not dare move. The two of them continued to embrace each other as if they were in deep sleep. The white glow around them became denser and denser, as a large amount of Holy Spirit Qi was being absorbed by them. The two of them continued like this for more than half a day. During these few hours, they didn't say much and just hugged and kissed each other. They enjoyed themselves quite a bit. It's already been 5 hours, why don't I feel like I've managed to condense something? Chen Xiang sent a sound transmission to LV Qilian. Sister Qilian, what about you? LV Qilian was a little surprised. No, I felt like I managed to condense something close to my throat, and it's solid. I think it should be a pearl. Chen Xiang laughed. It's probably because you're a woman, and half of the children are women. When LV Qilian heard this, she pinched Chen Xiang's waist lightly. Chen Xiang had long since gotten used to pinching girls, but he still retaliated against LV Qilian. His huge claw moved to LV Qilian's waist, at the bottom of his butt, and grabbed at it with a bit of force. Don't touch my body. Although LV Qilian was angry, she could only shout out with the sound transmission. She did not seem to be very angry. It has already been 12 hours, LV Qilian sent a sound transmission to Chen Xiang. I can feel that the pearl I condensed has already formed, it should be over now, right? Anyway, there will be chances in the future. Chen Xiang laughed, and then, the two of them consciously split up. At this moment, LV Qilian was straddling Chen Xiang's stomach, and her sandalwood mouth was slightly opened, only to see a transparent pearl floating out from her mouth. This was a transparent pearl that was the size of a longan. LV Qilian placed the pearl in her palm and creased her eyebrows, carefully observing it. At this moment, she was still quite excited, because the spirit liquid that had solidified into a solid was definitely not an ordinary one. She and Chen Xiang had been pestering each other for a long time before being able to produce this thing. LV Qilian placed the pearl in her palm and creased her eyebrows, carefully observing it. At this moment, she was still quite excited, because the spirit liquid that had solidified into a solid was definitely not an ordinary one. She and Chen Xiang had been pestering each other for a long time before being able to produce this thing. Sister Qilian, how should we use this thing? Based on your experience, what kind of effects do you think it would have? Chen Xiang did not understand much about this, but he knew that this pearl was very powerful. LV Qilian exclaimed, "Unbelievable, I never thought that fusing them in this way would actually be even more powerful. Could it be that the alive slain method's final profound meaning is the fusion of yin and yang?" Chen Xiang laughed. Of course, the continuation of life is always like this. LV Qilian nodded, she thought so too. When she was training with the alive slain method, she had never thought of this question. She did not expect that by chance, she would discover the greatest mystery of the alive slain method. How are the effects of this pearl? Chen Xiang was very curious. What do you want to try? This is not a liquid, it can't be dropped into the medicinal herbs, right? LV Qilian said. Based on the energy I feel, I think I can replicate at least 5 sacred heart fruit. Take a basin of water, and then release the Holy Spirit Qi from the holy stone and merge it with the water, turning the water into the Holy Spirit water. LV Qilian said. I have already tried this method before. It is one of the methods to quickly duplicate a large amount of medicinal herbs. Chen Xiang took out a square jade box that was as big as a wash basin, and took out a jade bottle. He poured some Holy Spirit water inside. I got this Holy Spirit water from the sacred domain. Can you use it directly? Chen Xiang asked. Sure. LV Qilian took out the sacred heart fruit that Chen Xiang had just gifted her, and evenly cut it into 6 pieces, and placed it inside the box that was filled with the Holy Spirit water. Chen Xiang knew what LV Qilian wanted to do and said excitedly, You want to soak this pearl in the water and melt it? That's right. LV Chilian placed the spirit orb into the water, and when the spirit orb entered the water, after sensing the sacred heart fruit that was cut into 6 pieces, it started to release a silver light, and the spirit orb slowly became smaller and smaller. The silver light flowed into the sacred heart fruit fragment. In the blink of an eye, the 6 pieces of sacred heart fruit meat inside the jade box had actually grown at a rapid rate, turning the 6 pieces of meat into 6 pieces of sacred heart fruit. Previously, when they were fusing the spirit liquid, they already felt that it was very fast, but now, the speed at which the spirit pearl was replicating was even more terrifying. LV Chilian anxiously fished out the 6 sacred heart fruit S from the water, then cut another one into half and threw it into the water. The 2 halves of the sacred heart fruit quickly became 2. It turned out that the healing life energy inside the halves had not been used up completely. Here, you can use this water again and again. LV Chilian placed the copied 6 sacred heart fruit S into a jade box and handed it over to Chen Xiang. You don't want it? Chen Xiang took it, and exclaimed as he looked at the 6th brother's popping and jumping sacred heart fruit. I don't need it right now. When I need it, I can also condense the spirit liquid and duplicate it myself. LV Chilian said softly, next. Should we continue? Chen Xiang laughed. Of course we have to continue, this will save us a lot of time. We can get 20 out of it in 10 days, which is enough for me to use for a long time. 10 days in a row. LV Chilian let out a faint sigh, and with slightly red cheeks, she softly replied. All right, but we can only condense 1 every day. We'll do our own for the rest of the time, it's not good to be like that all day long. The 2 of them had originally planned to rest for a while, but they were not tired at all. When they used the alive slain method together, not only would it remove their fatigue, it seemed that it would also bring them benefits, just like dual cultivation. 10 days later, Chen Xiang had 15 of those kinds of pearls in his hand. As Chen Xiang's usage of the alive slain method increased, he and LV Chilian could condense these kinds of pearls in only 6 hours while cultivating. However, Chen Xiang felt that his greatest gain was the relations Hi+P he had with LV Chilian. Although they did not say it out loud, they knew very well that their relations Hi+P had already been solidified here. When are you going to Heavenly Dragon Realm? LV Chilian asked. She did not know why Chen Xiang was going to the Heavenly Dragon Realm, but she was sure it was because there was something important. Wait a moment. Chen Xiang giggled. Could it be that you can't bear to part with me? No, if you're going to the Heavenly Dragon Realm, it would be best if you came back to visit D Tian after a period of time. The current situation is unfathomable. LV Chilian said. Chen Xiang took out a few jade boxes that contained blood ginseng S, Tianshan holy fruit S, phoenix fruits, and blood exquisite fruit. You should have the holy lotus seed. Chen Xiang said. Hurry up and copy all of these. If you are free, you can do it a little more. LV Chilian was not surprised to see Chen Xiang taking out so many holy level S. She only exclaimed in her heart. Indeed, it was as she had guessed. Chen Xiang had already grasped a lot of holy level S. In these 10 days, after Chen Xiang and LV Chilian condensed spirit pearls together, there was still a lot of time to condense spirit liquids. Chen Xiang also gave the spirit liquids to her, allowing her to fuse them together, which would be faster. Chen Xiang replied, I may have to go to that sacred domain. There is a very large super old sacred city there, where I can obtain the high-grade immortal pills that I lack. I hope that when I return, I would already be a pill saint. After LV Chilian finished copying the holy level medicinal herbs, he nodded towards Chen Xiang. You definitely can do it, leave this place to me. After a while, I'll go to the Ice Dragon Villa to talk to Shui Xian and the others, and teach them some methods to resist the Mei Emperor's charm art. I can rest as. Sure now, thank you. Chen Xiang and LV Chilian embraced each other. You should be careful too, you should also be May Emperor's #1 prey. LV Qilian smiled sweetly. Do you think she can hunt me? Of course not. Chen Xiang kissed her red lips and laughed. Because I've already killed you. After Chen Xiang finished speaking, his body gradually merged with the fluctuating S.P.A.C. behind him and disappeared. After returning to the heavenly dragon realm, Long Shui closed her eyes and started to cultivate. Right now, she wanted to use the power of this strange white mountain and give Ling Yulan a share of the supreme dragon blood. Chen Xiang laid on the bright and comfortable stone room, gently stroking the soft carpet below. The scene where he and LV Qilian laid on the ground, entangled with each other, couldn't help but reappear in front of him. Laughing so wantonly, are you thinking of something bad? Long Shui laughed out loud as he pounced towards Chen Xiang, laid on his body, and smelled all over it. What are you doing? It's been a few days and you've turned into a puppy. Chen Xiang slapped her buttocks. Stop sniffing. Pfft. Long Shui scoffed. The fragrance of the woman on your body is too strong, I just want to see who it belongs to. The smell has already penetrated deep into your skin. It seems that the 100-blossom emperor, has developed quite well. Jealous, didn't you tell me to eat her? Chen Xiang laughed and pinched Long Shui's chest. Long Shui strongly pushed his hand away and asked with some excitement, You really ate her? Chen Xiang shook his head and laughed. Not yet, but she's already a piece of meat on my chopping block. It's just a matter of time. Yulan goes out to hunt holy beasts all day long. Chen Xiang asked. That old lunatic took her on a treasure hunt. It's boring for her here anyway, so it's good for her to follow that lunatic around. Long Shui said, When you went to find LV Qilian, other than being a lot closer to her, did you have any other gains? Chen Xiang pinched her face and laughed. Of course there is. He took 2 out and said, These are all made by LV Qilian and I. She doesn't want any of them, so you have to thank her in the future. Wow, how did you make so much so fast? How did you do it? Long Shui carried the jade box in his arms and already picked up a sacred heart fruit to chew on it. It made Chen Xiang feel that it was a little strange, as if Long Shui was eating his heart. He could be considered a dual cultivator. Chen Xiang took out 15 of those beads, and then told Long Shui everything. Long Shui exclaimed, The alive slain method is indeed wondrous and endless. Oh right. Why don't you request a deeper level of dual cultivation with her? Body and body are fused, and the soul will merge together. When that happens, the effects will certainly be even more terrifying, wasting away a good opportunity. That's not the time. I did have that thought, but when I was with her, I could feel her thoughts. She still doesn't want that kind of thing to happen to me at that time. Chen Xiang said. On the other hand, I have already gotten a few sacred heart fruit for you. When are you going to bring those supreme dragon blood out? I want to go to the Absolute Monarch Sanctuary quickly and take a look at Sister Mei Yao and Sister Yu. Long Shui said, Soon I will be able to make them after eating these 4 sacred heart fruit. I miss them a lot too. Long Shui was quick. He waited for half a year, but he was not idle during this period of time. He condensed the spirit liquid and copied out a large amount of sacred animal fruit S and Tianlong Dan's medicinal ingredients, allowing him to successfully refine Immortal Grade 5 and Immortal Grade 6 sacred animal Dan S and Tianlong Dan S. This is the supreme dragon blood. Chen Xiang looked at the hair like white silk in Long Shui's hand, and upon closer inspection, it looked very much like a dragon. Of course, this is the same thing as divine deity. Yulan, in the future, if nothing unexpected happens, the supreme dragon blood that has perfect condition will definitely have it. Long Shui said with great confidence. Yulan, open your mouth, ah. Ling Yulan listened very much to Long Shui's words. After opening her mouth, Long Shui placed the supreme dragon blood into her mouth. The supreme dragon blood seemed to have a spirit of its own and entered Ling Yulan's mouth, causing Ling Yulan's entire body to instantly SHI+NE with a burst of white light. I succeeded, but I'll need some time to get used to it. Long Shui giggled. He patted Ling Yulan's shoulders and asked, "Do you feel anything now?" Ling Yulan frowned and shook his head. "I can't describe that feeling, it seems like the dragon vein isn't obedient." "That's right, this is the reason that we don't have a perfect match. Stay in the Ice Dragon Villa for a while, and let those old ice dragons help you. Your brother and I are going to a rather dangerous place," Long Shui said. At this time, Ling Yulan was very clear about her current situation. She could not go exploring with Chen Xiang and the others, so she revealed a smile and nodded. "Once I have perfectly fused with the supreme dragon blood, I will become very powerful." At this time, Ling Yulan was very clear about her current situation. She could not go exploring with Chen Xiang and the others, so she revealed a smile and nodded. "Once I have perfectly fused with the supreme dragon blood, I will become very powerful." Chen Xiang patted her shoulder and encouraged her. "Then work hard, I'll send you and Master back." Huang Jintian, who was at the side, had been considering something. "Are you going to the Saint Realm? I want to go with you. Cat is still there. I can go find him and hunt for Saint Beasts." Huang Jintian laughed. "Bring me along." Chen Xiang sent Ling Yulan back to the Ice Dragon Villa. At this time, Huang Jintian and Long Shui were both in the Serene Jade Ring. He had already gone to the sacred region before and had spatial senses towards the sacred region, so he did not need to use the teleportation platform to head to the sacred region. After arriving at the Absolute Monarch Sanctuary, Chen Xiang had said through that layer of light and released Huang Jintian. He could go and find Mauer by himself. Chen Xiang and Long Shui, on the other hand, were Sky Capital, which was in the middle of entering the Absolute Monarch Sanctuary, heading to Super Old Sacred City. Back then, he had gotten to know two very strong female rankers in the Super Old Sacred City. It was just that he did not know whether Ji Linger and Red Cloud were still at the house they bought back then. "I remember that they both have enemies family. As long as Super Old Sacred City is not settled by that Super Holy School, they should be fine," Long Shui said. She was resting inside the ring, although she was very strong now, but she was very lazy, and would definitely not sit when she was lying down. Chen Xiang began to feel the spatial undulations when he was in Super Old Sacred City. As long as he could sense the SPAC there, he would be able to use the power of the spatial laws to pass through. "Sister Meiyao and Miss Yu, you are in Divine Feather School. Even if Super Holy School controls the entire Super Old Sacred City, I think they would help Ji Linger and the rest." The SPAC around Chen Xiang started to fluctuate. He had already found the SPAC where the Super Old Sacred City was. He did not teleport directly to the inside of the Super Old Sacred City, but instead, he was in a wasteland outside the Super Old Sacred City, and was still a distance away from the Super Old Sacred City. He was worried that if he got too close to the Super Old Sacred City, he would be discovered by the rankers inside the Super Old Sacred City, causing unnecessary trouble. It was very safe outside Super Old Sacred City because many rankers killed Saint Beasts to earn Holy Stone S. Saint Beasts coming to this place was simply a suicide. Chen Xiang crossed a wasteland and entered the Super Old Sacred City, heading to the strongest region in the Sky Capital. However, the moment he entered the Super Old Sacred City, he heard a piece of bad news. He never thought that not long after he left the sacred domain, such a thing would happen. The entire Super Old Sacred City was actually controlled by the Super Holy School, and a power like the Divine Feather School didn't dare to say much either. "What's going on? We haven't left for too long, right?" Moreover, the strength of the Super Holy School at that time shouldn't have been that strong either. Chen Xiang found it hard to understand. as a large half of the Heaven Sacred District had already become Super Holy School. Long Shui said in a serious voice, "If I bought wrongly, the Super Holy School should have been won over by the HELL Devil Emperor. If I can gather a large number of experts from the sacred domain to attack D Tian, TSK, the consequences would be unimaginable. This HELL Devil Emperor is really a tumor." Chen Xiang gritted his teeth and cursed. "Quickly go to the Divine Feather School and find Feng Yujie. See if you can find out the whereabouts of Hong Xia and Ji Ling. Since the Super Holy School controls the Super Old Sacred City, it will definitely be difficult for the two of them to hide here," Long Shui said. Chen Xiang immediately headed to Divine Feather School, and the one who received him was the elder from back then. After recognizing him, he anxiously brought him to Feng Yujie. Feng Yujie, who had always been in seclusion, was now in charge of the entire Divine Feather School. It was because the entire Absolute Monarch Sanctuary was not at peace right now. As a leader and a pill saint, Feng Yujie's strength was not to be underestimated. At the moment, he did not have any conflicts of interest with the Super Holy School, so the Super Holy School dared to make a move on the Divine Feather School. Feng Yujie was just like before, wearing simple clothes. Although her appearance was average, the way she moved her hands was extremely charming. When she saw Chen Xiang coming over, she chuckled and said, "You're back so soon." After saying that, Feng Yujie's smile suddenly disappeared. He frowned at Chen Xiang, with a look of shock on his face, because Chen Xiang's strength was extremely shocking to her. Back then when Chen Xiang left, he was only at a mortal becoming realm, but now she was unable to see through him. "Where's Sister Meiyao and Elder Sister Yu? Chen Xiang did not bother with her and quickly replied, "I want to meet them." Feng Yujie said, "They just ate the saint revitalizing pellet that I refined, and they will take some time to refine. You won't be able to see them now." Chen Xiang nodded his head. This could be understood, and he asked again, "Now that Super Old Sacred City is in control, Super Holy School has been chasing after two women." Feng Yujie seemed to have already guessed that Chen Xiang would ask about this. She took out a jade box and said, "This is what they left for you." Chen Xiang immediately received the jade box and opened it to look. It was a map, and when he opened it, he was completely confused by what he saw, because he did not know anything about this sacred domain. "Where are they?" Chen Xiang said the map to Feng Yujie and said, "I'm not familiar with this place. Seems like they are far away from the Super Old Sacred City. This is an area that is not yet controlled by the Super Holy School. It's called the Holy Beast Mountain Range. There are also many strong humans, and a few of them are strong beast kings. The Super Holy School do not dare to go there recklessly. The map should indicate that they are inside their cave." Feng Yujie said, "There is the transmission array here. We can teleport there directly. If you go to that place, you should keep a low profile." "Aunt Feng, when will Sister Meiyao and Elder Sister Yu wake up?" Chen Xiang asked. "If my two daughters can recover, then their strength will definitely rise greatly. I need to guide them from the side, so I can't be sure when they can finish it. It should be within 10 years. The Aunt Feng said. Within 10 years, Chen Xiang could understand. After all, those were injuries that had been left behind for many years, and they had been treated while raising one's strength. However, he still felt that it was too long. "Aunt Feng, do you know about the matters concerning HELL Devil Emperor? Do you think that there is a connection between Super Holy School and HELL Devil Emperor?" This was what Long Shui told Chen Xiang to ask. "You also know about the matters with the HELL Devil Emperor. Honestly speaking, the HELL Devil Emperor also came to find me and offered very generous conditions for me to become his subordinate. However, I rejected." Feng Yujie let out a long sigh. "Even though my Divine Feather School is fine up till now, I feel that she will not let me off. In that case, other than the super holy school, there are also many other powerhouses that have been bribed by the H.E.L.L. Devil Emperor. Qin Xiang frowned. That's right, because the H.E.L.L. Devil Emperor's conditions are very generous. First, if one's soul is not destroyed, one will never die, then he will provide some precious holy level medicinal herbs, and then, some saint weapons. You have to know, the saint weapons in H.E.L.L. are very powerful. They were all made by a large number of artifact forgers controlled by the H.E.L.L. Devil Emperor. Feng Yujie said, "Who knows, maybe he can even bring out some divine weapons." Chen Xiang said, "A few days ago, a few of the heavenly regions attacked Dtian, but they did not succeed in the end because Dtian's current strength is not weak either. If they were to fight, the heavenly regions would not benefit much." Feng Yujie sighed. "I also heard that Dtian had such a great power right after he was reborn. If we give Dtian a little more time, the sky region would definitely not dare to challenge him. The current Dtian was able to give birth to a Holy Spirit aura. He was even stronger than the Dtian from back then. And Feng, if H.E.L.L. Devil Emperor wants to make a move on you, then move Divine Feather School to Dtian." Chen Xiang said, "If we stay there, we can resist the power of the H.E.L.L. Devil Emperor together. I'll think about it. After all, that's Dtian. It's not easy to migrate from here as a whole." Feng Yujie suddenly laughed. "You aren't planning to rope me in, are you?" "Of course not, it's just cooperation." Qin Xiang laughed. "I'll go look for Hong Xia and the others first. When I get back, I'll have to ask you about some things regarding refining pills." "Oh, your alchemy skills are so special, I can't guide you." Feng Yujie scoffed. "Don't tell me you want to challenge me again, laugh at me after you defeat me?" Qin Xiang shook his head. "Yes, there is a method to refine high-level pellets, for example a high-level 8 or 9 pellet, or even a sacred pellet." Hearing Qin Xiang's words, Feng Yujie immediately understood that Qin Xiang did not come here just to see Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu, but also to become a pill saint. She was not too surprised that Qin Xiang would be able to become a pill saint in such a short time. Qin Xiang came to the Holy Beast Mountain Range through the Divine Feather School's transmission array. The Divine Feather School had a very close business relations, HI+P, with the Holy Beast Mountain Range, so there were a few transmission arrays that led to the Holy Beast Mountain Range. After arriving at the Sacred Beast Mountain Range, he released his divine soul to wander in the air and survey the terrain. After comparing Ji Linger and Red Dawn's maps, he quickly found a gigantic mountain that was specially made for people. There were many big and small caves on top of the mountain. Chen Xiang followed the map and quickly found their cave. He knocked on the stone door of the cave, waiting for them to open. Not long after, the stone door slowly opened, revealing a beautiful lady. It was Ji Linger. However, Chen Xiang had disguised herself previously, so she was extremely wary when she saw a stranger before her. "Little Linger, it's me." Chen Xiang anxiously transmitted to Ji Linger. "It's not easy for you to open the door." Seeing that it was Chen Xiang, Ji Linger hastily pulled him in and closed the door. "It's really you. How did you arrive so quickly?" Ji Linger asked excitedly, jumping around while hugging Chen Xiang. Hong Xia and Ji Linger knew that Chen Xiang would definitely come, because they already knew what was happening within Dtian. They just did not expect that Chen Xiang would arrive so quickly. Hong Xia and Ji Linger knew that Chen Xiang would definitely come, because they already knew what was happening within Dtian. They just did not expect that Chen Xiang would arrive so quickly. "Little Linger, what do you think of me?" Chen Xiang giggled as he reached out to scratch her beautiful nose, then looked at Hong Xia and laughed helplessly. "I didn't expect it to change so suddenly. This place is the same as Dtian, and there's even a little connection between them. Because experts like Ten Heaven's Supreme Lord, Jiang Xing, Demon Emperor by Yahweh, and devil-suppressing Heavenly Venerable had appeared one after another, making it difficult for those sky region to launch a huge battle against Dtion. Therefore, at this time, the Hel Devil Emperor had found the of the Absolute Monarch Sanctuary. With the help of the Hel Devil Emperor, the Super Holy School dominated the entire sacred region and controlled the entire Heaven Sacred District, causing Hong Xia and Ji Linger to have no choice but to leave this place that they thought to be very safe. Humans are better off if it's like that. Fortunately, the situation isn't too bad, and those fellows don't dare to come to the Saint Beast mountain range. These beasts actually have more backbone than humans, and were not bribed by the Hel Devil Emperor. Although she said it like that, she was still worried before. But now that Chen Xiang had arrived, she suddenly felt at ease. Ji Linger laughed tenderly. You grew up so fast. I thought that when we met again, you would need me to help you raise your strength. But it seems that you are even stronger than us now. Chen Xiang followed the two girls into the cave. The cave was simple and crude, but it was neat and tidy. The two girls were not dressed very well right now. When Chen Xiang was much weaker than Hong Xia and Ji Linger, the two girls had treated him very well and even made him eat tofu. But now that Chen Xiang was as strong as them, even stronger than them, they respected him even more, because Chen Xiang was a very powerful alchemist before, and now that he was so strong, he would definitely become a pill sage in the future. To have a pill sage friend was something many people dreamed of. The two women poured tea for Chen Xiang and treated him extremely well. Chen Xiang, on the other hand, admired these two beauties with a smile on his face. Their clothes weren't very pretty, which allowed them to exude a kind of natural beauty. We don't want to stay here right now. Super Holy School and the rest have yet to enter the Sacred Beast mountain range, but they just don't dare to come in for the time being. Their powers will grow very quickly, and with the help of the Hel Devil Emperor, they will quickly take over many large Saint Realm forces, dominating the entire Saint Realm before attacking Dtion. Red Cloud said. Chen Xiang nodded, he thought so too. This was because the Super Holy School already had a huge power in the sacred region, but they did not have any plans to attack Dtion. You guys also know about the Hel Devil Emperor? Chen Xiang asked. The Hel Devil Emperor came to find us and told us a bunch of nonsense, telling us to sacrifice ourselves and help that Bastard leader of the Super Holy School become stronger. Of course we wouldn't listen to his nonsense, so he wanted to force it on us, but we are not pushovers, so we will work together to beat him away. Ji Linger's face was filled with indignation. The Red Cloud said, Hel Devil Emperor's Hel Devil Envoy is really strong, and they also have a very mysterious ability of perception, able to sense the location of a lot of strong warriors. I heard that a lot of strong warriors have been found by the Hel Devil Envoy, and many of them couldn't resist the rich conditions offered by the Hel Devil Emperor, so they joined the Super Holy School. Chen Xiang, can you bring us to Dtion? Right now we don't have any great powers to rely on, although our strength is not bad. Against such a huge being like the Super Holy School, we are just small fries. We want to be together with you. Ji Linger shook Chen Xiang's arm, pouted her mouth, and spoke softly. Her cute appearance made Chen Xiang feel his bones go soft. All right, you're an old granny who has lived for 10,000 years. Don't act like a spoiled child, it's really hard for people to take it. Chen Xiang laughed. The fact that Chen Xiang agreed made Hong Xia and Ji Linger extremely happy. Seeing the happy smiles on the two girls' faces, Chen Xiang said, I can bring you guys to Dtion, but there are two things I need to clarify first. Firstly, you cannot follow me, but I will arrange for you two to join a force. Secondly, my goal here is to become a pill saint. Before that, I need to find some high-level alchemists to practice and level up. They knew that Chen Xiang would become a pill saint sooner or later, but it was simply too fast now. The legendary pill saint, wasn't he an old demon who had lived for tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of years? But after they thought about it more carefully, they felt that it was a very normal thing to do with Chen Xiang. Ladies, you too might be able to witness the birth of a pill saint, hee. Chen Xiang said with a confident smile on his face. No, it should be you guys, assisting a future pill saint. Red Cloud gently smiled. Just tell us what you want us to do. Ji Linger's expression was solemn, and said, even if you don't want to die, we will definitely do our best to help you. Little Spirit is really loyal. Chen Xiang laughed openly. I can't bear to have beauties like you die for me, I'm not that kind of person either. The things you guys need to do is very simple, just like before. Do you guys still have the Holy Stone? Chen Xiang asked. He still had 10 million kilograms of Holy Stone here, and he had given some small knives to bring back to the Dragon Subduing School before. He had also given some to Xue Xianxian and the others. Not much. Hong Xia felt a little awkward, because Chen Xiang had left them a lot of things back then. It's fine, I still have 10 million caddies. How about this, you guys go buy some commonly used Tier 6 immortal pills and come back. This 10 million caddies of Holy Stone should be enough, right? Chen Xiang took out a storage bag. Ji Linger frowned. About that? They can only buy one, and it's not a very good one at that. Super Holy School is controlling the market for high-grade pills. The price has increased by several times. They want to force some experts who are in urgent need of high-grade pills to join Super Holy School. Seeing how powerful the Super Holy School was, Chen Xiang suddenly had a burst of motivation. He wished that he could take a walk around the Super Holy School to see what they were capable of with the help of the H.E.L. Devil Emperor. The corner of his mouth curled up in a cold smile. Super Holy School, it's best if we can take care of them in this sacred domain. Otherwise, they might go and harm Tion in the future. Then these 10 million caddies of Holy Stone are enough to buy a batch of Tier 6 immortal pills. Super Holy School has already done me a huge favor, haha. Chen Xiang suddenly laughed out loud, causing Red Cloud and Ji Linger to be confused, but they were already used to it, because what Chen Xiang did was out of their expectations. Resume updated. First of all, I apologize to everyone and have made them wait for a long time. And thank you so much for caring for me, and I'm touched to see you leave a message, and thank you for your blessings. Finally, I solemnly declare that this book has no eunuchs, that it continues to be updated, and that it remains as cyanate as ever. Chen Xiang gave 10 million Holy Stone to Hong Xia and Ji Linger. These 10 million caddies of Holy Stone were not a small amount to Hong Xia and Ji Linger, but they could only barely afford to buy high-level elixirs whose prices had skyrocketed, causing them to feel a lot of pressure, because it was not easy to obtain them. Although it was this price on the market, it was still priceless. Chen Xiang gave 10 million Holy Stone to Hong Xia and Ji Linger. These 10 million caddies of Holy Stone were not a small amount to Hong Xia and Ji Linger, but they could only barely afford to buy high-level elixirs whose prices had skyrocketed, causing them to feel a lot of pressure, because it was not easy to obtain them. Although it was this price on the market, it was still priceless. Just as Hong Xia and Ji Linger walked out of the cave and closed the stone door, Chen Xiang suddenly teleported through S.P. AC and appeared by their side. I'll go with you guys. You guys have a wide range of connections, but you guys can't compare to me in identifying medicinal ingredients. Chen Xiang was actually worried that something might happen to them. Now that the high-grade immortal medicines were all controlled by the Super Holy School, the price would skyrocket by at least 10 times, so no one would buy them now. If someone were to buy them, they would definitely attract attention. Of course, Red Cloud and Ji Linger would be happy to accompany Chen Xiang. Although Super Holy School wouldn't cause trouble at the Holy Beast mountain range, they could still cause trouble for them. With Chun Xiang accompanying them, they wouldn't need to be afraid. There are also some cities in the Sacred Beast mountain range, but unlike the humans, they usually dig caves in a mountain or on some huge trees. It's said that this is the largest ancient tree in the Sacred Beast mountain range, and it's even a sacred tree. As Ji Linger walked, he introduced the situation of the Sacred Beast mountain range to Chun Xiang. Red Cloud added, "It's said that the owner of this holy tree is an eagle, one of the 10 great beast emperors of the Saint Realm." Chun Xiang looked forward, wanting to see the gigantic holy tree, but a large mountain blocked his line of sight, making it difficult to see the huge tree in the distance. Furthermore, there was a thin mist floating in the air. Long Shui suddenly said to Chun Xiang, "I have a white dragon sword here. Originally, the Tianlong sword was also with me, but it was loaned away that year. That guy seems to be a big bird." Chun Xiang was not surprised. Long Shui could even lend out something as valuable as divine deity. There was nothing surprising about lending the Tianlong sword to others. "Once we get there, we'll be able to confirm if it's really him. I wonder if that guy will return it to me," Long Shui said. "That guy is not easy to deal with. Right now, all I am missing is the Tianlong sword and the White Dragon sword to be able to gather all of the 7 Dragons sword." "So what exactly is going on with this 7 Dragons sword?" Chun Xiang asked. "I don't know, but in short, my White Dragon sword appeared by my side all of a sudden, and then the White Dragon sword led me to search for the Tianlong sword. At that time, the other 6 dragons were like me, and they were guided by the dragon's sword in their hands to search for the Tianlong sword." Long Shui was extremely proud of himself when he mentioned this. Chun Xiang scolded in a low voice, "It's not easy to get this thing to lend to others." Long Shui snorted, "They didn't just casually lend it to me. That guy exchanged a bunch of holy fruits with me. If I had met you earlier, I wouldn't have even bothered to look at him." Chun Xiang had already guessed that she only lent the Tianlong sword out because she was greedy, but now that he and Long Shui had good abilities, it shouldn't be hard for them to take back the Tianlong sword. "I wonder what will happen if we gather all the 7 dragons' sword." Chun Xiang was very curious about this. "I also want to know, when we 6 dragons met back then, not only was it a compet. 1. Tie-in for the Tianlong sword, we also wanted to SNATCH away all the other dragons' holy swords, but we did not succeed. I only knew that the green dragon gave his azure dragon sword to the old Jiang in the end." Long Shui said. When Chun Xiang entered the emperor's tomb, he defeated a spirit body that became him and obtained the azure dragon sword. After going over more than 10 mountains that were as tall as the clouds, Chun Xiang and the others finally saw the ancient holy tree. From the top of the mountain, the gigantic green crown of the tree looked like a green dome that shrouded a large piece of land. Chun Xiang stood at the top of the tall mountain. The clouds had already reached the top of the clouds, and only reached the middle of the mountain. This mountain could be considered very tall, but the tree was even taller, and the crown of the tree looked like it had been propped up by a thick tree trunk. Even if Chun Xiang and the others were at the summit of the mountain, they would still have to raise their heads and look at the treetop that seemed to connect into the starry sky. So high! Chun Xiang was stunned for a while, then exclaimed, "Is everyone on top of that tree? Let's fly up." Just as Chun Xiang finished speaking, Ji Linger and Hong Xia immediately pulled on him, worried that he would fly over. Red Cloud anxiously said, "We can't fly, we can only go up through the transmission array in the trunk, and that is the top tree. There are a total of 3 crowns, we can only go to the middle tree." Ji Linger said, "The treetop in the middle is beneath the clouds. We'll be able to see it once we go down the mountain." Chun Xiang laughed. "What a strange tree. The trunk of this giant tree was as big as the sky. The branches that made up its crown were even thicker, and each branch was as thick as a large river." After descending the mountain, Chen Xiang indeed saw 2 treetops at the bottom. The lowest one was around 10,000 meters tall, while the middle one was hidden in the clouds. Why can't I go to the top one? Chen Xiang asked. Because the Beast King is up there. That is his lair. If we recklessly go there, we will be killed, said. At this moment, she and Red Cloud were tightly holding onto Chen Xiang's arm, worried that Chen Xiang would fly up, because Chen Xiang's current fearless expression made them very worried. When he approached the holy tree, Chen Xiang realized that the tree had a natural transparent barrier that protected the whole tree from being destroyed. Of course, if it was destroyed inside the tree, it would be punished by the tree manager. There must be a lot of good stuff underneath this holy tree. Long Shui muttered. The biggest possibility is that there is a high-quality holy stone mine below. No wonder when that guy gave me that many holy fruits back then, he did not even bat an eye. If I knew earlier, he would have given me a little more. If she did not meet Chen Xiang, Long Shui would have definitely thought of the holy fruit on the tree. Now that Chen Xiang was a cultivator with the alive slain method, he was able to create many holy fruits, and she was too lazy to obtain them herself. At the bottom of the huge tree trunk, thick tree roots protruded out from the ground, causing gorges to appear on the ground. At the bottom of the huge tree trunk, thick tree roots rose up from the ground, causing gorges to appear on the ground. The tree trunk in front had a very small crack, which looked like it was naturally formed. From afar, it looked very small, but from a closer look, it was more than enough for a giant dragon to drill into it. The tree trunk in front had a very small crack, which looked like it was naturally formed. From afar, it looked very small, but from a closer look, it was more than enough for a giant dragon to drill into it. Chen Xiang faintly felt that this holy tree was very close to the legendary divine tree. The earth tree he met in the core of the earth was not as big as this one, but the aura emitted by these 2 trees made him feel that they were very similar. There were many people walking in and out of the huge crack on the tree trunk. Some of them were saint beasts in human form, but there were more humans than saint beasts. This made people feel strange. Hong Xia and Ji Linger were already very familiar with the place. They brought Chen Xiang light carriage and entered the gigantic transmitting square inside the tree trunk. The transmission array here was free, because all the energy in this place originated from this holy tree, which made Chen Xiang feel that it was not bad. After all, after a large force took control of an area, they would charge the same amount of teleportation fees to obtain it. Chen Xiang and the other 2 used the transmission array to go up a thick branch. On top of this branch, there was a small city, about 100,000 people of the same size, and straight branches that were growing diagonally, to the point that one could see the end of it with a glance. In the middle of this thick branch was a wide street, and even though there were a large number of constructs on both sides of the road, it still gave off a very serious and stable feeling. There were many branches on the second crown of this holy tree, but not every branch could be used to build a city. It looks like there are a lot of them, Chen Xiang said in a low voice. He could see the end of the building at a glance, and those long branches could not be seen at the end. This kind of thick and short branches are the most stable. If we want to buy medicinal ingredients, we need to find a person here. At this moment, Shi and Ji Linger had become extremely vigilant. They had already changed their appearances, and they were still wanted. Even if they were to be exposed in the Holy Beast Mountain range, it would bring them a lot of trouble. Chen Xiang's current thoughts were all on the highest treetop, because there was a Beast King there, so there was a high possibility that Long Xue's Tianlong sword was there. Right now, Long Xue was already using the Heaven Tour method to investigate. If you want to go to the top floor, what do you need to do? Chen Xiang sent a sound transmission to Ji Linger and Hong Xia, causing the 2 girls' delicate bodies to tremble. That's the Eagle Emperor's nest. Legends say that the place above is where the fruits are, and all the fruits are holy fruit. Do you think you can go up there easily? Red Cloud said, Don't worry, I'm just asking. Seeing the two girls being so worried, Chen Xiang laughed, and continued to follow the two girls towards a 5-story tall wooden tower. The building rules here are only made of wood, no other materials are allowed. Eagle Emperor, that should be right. That guy is an eagle, Long Shui said. In my impression, that guy was a very eccentric green-haired eagle. Green feathers, they are indeed very rare. Chen Xiang asked, Did you find anything? We can't detect it. The top layer of the natural formation is too strong and hard to break through. If you used a spatial teleportation, it should be possible. Long Shui said. Right now, Chen Xiang did not have any plans to take action, because Long Shui did not know much about the green-haired eagle and was not certain that the Tianlong sword was still in the hands of the green-haired eagle. Even if it was, the green-haired eagle would probably go back on its words and start attacking him again. Therefore, Chen Xiang would not take the risk before he had fully investigated her. His current strength was not weak either. If he also borrowed Long Shui's power, he would be even more terrifying. Even if he faced the Beast King, he could still preserve his life if he couldn't defeat it. We're here, leave the rest to us. If you want to fight, then you can do it. Linger sent a sound transmission to Chen Xiang. Chen Xiang nodded his head, and followed behind the two girls, stepping into the door. The moment they entered, a few strong auras rushed over, and probed back and forth on their bodies, because they were stronger, and thus attracted the attention of some of the stronger guardians inside the tower. Please come in, my two esteemed guests. An old man walked over with a smile, and spoke extremely politely to Hong Xia and Linger, but Chen Xiang was only a follower in his eyes, because looking at their profound spirit qi, Hong Xia and Linger were extremely strong. The status of women was not high to begin with. To be able to become so strong meant that she had a higher position. Even if it was men, after being heavily groomed by powerful forces, they would not have as much strength as Red Cloud and Linger. Hong Xia and Linger merely nodded slightly before walking to a door, bringing Chen Xiang to a luxurious living room. Please wait a moment, the restaurant owner will arrive soon. After the old man finished speaking, he waved his hand, signaling the two seductive girls to pour some tea for Chen Xiang and the others, and then left the hall. Chen Xiang sized up the two charming girls and discovered that they both had a snow-white tail with fluffy hair. He knew immediately that they were two foxes, no wonder they were so charming at such a young age. It was actually a young man. This young man wore snow-white clothes and wore a long braid that hung down on his chest. Coupled with his handsome white face, he gave off an illusion that he was a girl. The big shopkeeper was actually a youth whose gender was difficult to differentiate. Chen Xiang was quite surprised in his heart, but Red Cloud and Linger didn't think much of it. The youth waited for the two fox girls to finish pouring the tea before lightly shouting, "You two may leave." After the fox girl left, the young man smiled at Hong Xia and Linger. That smile was a little deceptive. It made Chen Xiang feel very bad. At this time, the young man looked at Chen Xiang and frowned. "Are you still not going to leave?" Linger coldly snorted. "Duke Qing, it's not up to you to order my men around, right?" Seeing Linger's eyes, Tude, the teenager named Qing W.A.N. became slightly angry and his expression became slightly cold. "Since you guys are looking for me for a business deal, at least respect me a little. Could it be that you can't use your own appearance?" Chen Xiang could already tell that Hong Xia and Linger recognized this Duke Qing, and they even had some conflicts. "We're not here to look for you. We're here to look for the boss. You're just a shopkeeper, why are you being so arrogant?" Linger's sudden anger made him puzzled, and the usually calm Red Cloud did not stop Linger. Long Shui laughed. "This Duke Qing is only a big frog, his strength is a little strong, but there is nothing to be arrogant about." Red Cloud calmly said, "This is the business of a 5 million Jin holy stone. You should quickly go and call your boss over." A 5 million Jin holy stone was a large number, even the powerful head storekeeper couldn't make the decision. Humph, don't think that you will be safe in the Holy Beast mountain range, and don't think that you can look down on everyone just because you have a few holy stone. Just you wait. After saying that, he angrily left the living room. Seeing the Frog King leave angrily, Chen Xiang shook his head and laughed. This guy has quite the tone you guys have. I was wondering what kind of enmity you have with him. He doesn't look too bad. Seeing the Frog King leave angrily, Chen Xiang shook his head and laughed. This guy has quite the tone you guys have. I was wondering what kind of enmity you have with him. He doesn't look too bad. Ji Linger's beautiful eyes flashed with anger, and she snorted. Don't just think that he's a little brat, he's actually a 10,000-year-old frog, and both genders eat him. Previously, he did look quite nice, but later on we found out that he's an extremely hypocritical guy, and was almost deceived by him. So that's how it is. It seems that after being seen through by you all, he became tiered and exasperated. One must be careful of this guy. Chen Xiang was not afraid of the Frog King. He was just worried that guy would use underhanded means to deal with Ji Linger and Red Cloud. Yeah, I heard that guy used a lot of insidious methods. We have to be wary of him in the Sacred Beast mountain range, but we don't need to worry too much. He wouldn't dare to use any of those powerful poisons in the Holy Tree. It would be a death sentence if he were discovered. Red Cloud smiled and took a sip of fragrant tea. Not long after Azure Emperor left, a very amiable-looking old man in gray walked in. He had a benevolent smile on his face that caused people to feel very close to him. It was difficult for them to be wary of him. This old man was the owner of this place. I heard that you two have brought a lot of holy stone here. If you need anything, just say it. This old man had done business with Red Cloud Ji Linger before. They were purchasing medicinal ingredients back then. Bossly, we're here to buy Luyuan azure fruit this time. How long will it take for you to help us get them? Red Cloud asked. The 6 yuan sky pill was a rather expensive tier 6 immortal pill. It had the assistance of the innate chi and could quickly transform it into Saint Force. It was very popular among cultivators, and had a very large market. As long as there was this pill, many cultivators that had reached the 9th stage of the immortal becoming realm would buy it even if they went bankrupt, because it would help them become a saint immortal. Bosley did not know what they wanted the Luyuan azure fruit for. Looking at his smiling face, he knew that the price would not be low. Previously, the Frog King was not a good person, and Bosley even invited him to be a head storekeeper. From this, it could be seen that Bosley was not a good person, so Chen Xiang did not have any good feelings towards him just because of Bosley's kind face. I can get it, but you should be well aware that the Super Holy School has already controlled the high-grade immortal medicine channels during this period of time, so the price. Bosley revealed an awkward expression. Ji Linger said, just state a price. 15 million kilograms for one. This is the worst kind of Luyuan azure fruit. A perfect Luyuan azure fruit requires 20 million kilograms. Hearing Bosley call out such a price, Hong Xia and Ji Linger frowned. Red Cloud let out a light breath and said, this thing was originally only a few million gene holy stone. Now, a perfect one has unexpectedly risen to 20 million gene. Nothing is missing. Bosley shook his head and said, it's the same if you go to other places to ask about it. Seeing Bosley's determined attitude, Chen Xiang knew that there was no longer any room for discussion, and Ji Linger and Hong Xia's situation was extremely sensitive. If they ran too far, they would definitely be exposed. Chen Xiang immediately sent a sound transmission to Hong Xia and Ji Linger. Try to use the lowest price to buy the worst one. Red Cloud asked, you're buying the worst, is that not a problem? That's right, how do you concoct pills at the worst rate? Ji Linger said, let's go to another place to take a look. Buy it. I have my ways. Chen Xiang said, no one would want the lowest quality Luyuan azure fruit. It might even be below 5 million kilograms. Chen Xiang had intended to buy the worst kind of immortal medicine, because the spirit liquid that was condensed from the alive slain method that he cultivated could revive a dying spirit medicine. Hong Xia and Ji Linger were slightly unwilling. In their eyes, this was just a waste of holy stone. Seeing that they did not say anything, Chen Xiang said to Boss Li, 5 million kilograms of holy stone, sell us the weakest Luyuan azure fruit. Boss Li was the same as the Frog King, thinking that Chen Xiang was just a follower. Brother, you must be joking. The current price of immortal medicine is no longer the same as before. Even the weakest Luyuan azure fruit have been able to control the prices. You all should be well aware that with your own strength, Super Holy School has already bought many high-grade immortal medicine stores. Chen Xiang said to Hong Xia and Ji Linger. Then let's go somewhere else to take a look. Just as Red Cloud and Ji Linger were about to get up, Boss Li anxiously shouted. Sit down, I am not saying that there is no room for discussion. How about 8 million jin of holy stone? Chen Xiang laughed. The worst Luyuan azure fruit must have been left behind a long time ago, because they were not preserved properly, they became very poor. At that time, the price you bought from them must have been very low, giving you 5 million kilograms of holy stone. That's already a very generous price. No matter if it is before or now, you guys will never be able to sell it at this price. Ji Linger saw that Chen Xiang really wanted that lousy Luyuan azure fruit, and laughed. That's right, there aren't many idiots like us. If you don't want to sell it, then forget it, let's go. Boss Li, farewell. Let's work together again when there's a chance. After speaking, Red Cloud walked towards the door of the living room. Ji Linger and Chen Xiang followed behind Red Cloud. When they reached the door, Boss Li just called for them, just as Chen Xiang expected. Never mind, I'll just sell it to you guys, sigh. Boss Li took out a jade box and opened it. Take a look first. If you want to buy it, don't regret it. When the time comes, I won't return the goods. The Luyuan azure fruit looked wrinkled and lifeless, just like a dried fruit. It was truly poor. If Chen Xiang had not insisted on buying it, Red Cloud and Ji Linger definitely would not have asked for this kind of immortal fruit. Right now, Red Cloud could only take out 5 million kilogram holy stone and buy this half-dead Luyuan azure fruit. After buying the Luyuan azure fruit, Chen Xiang and the rest hurriedly left the tower. As they walked out of the door, the wisp of Chen Xiang's divine soul floating outside saw the Frog King sneering at them from his position on the 3rd floor. This fellow. Seeing the Frog King's deceptive expression, Chen Xiang hurriedly told Red Cloud and Ji Linger, We are in trouble. I suspect that the Frog King has done something good in the dark. Don't worry, on this holy tree, even if there's trouble, it won't be too much trouble. She had already guessed what the Frog King would do, and all of this was within her and Ji Linger's expectations. As expected, when Chen Xiang and the others were about to reach the teleportation field at the root of the branch, a large group of people immediately appeared in the middle of the transmitting square. The people of Super Holy School would appear here, and also come at Chen Xiang and the others. Just by thinking about it, one could tell that it was the Frog King who was laughing merrily just now that had done such a good thing. The people of Super Holy School would appear here, and also come at Chen Xiang and the others. Just by thinking about it, one could tell that it was the Frog King who was laughing merrily just now that had done such a good thing. Don't worry, they won't dare to act rashly on this holy tree. Hong Xia sent a sound transmission to Chen Xiang, telling him not to attack. Red Cloud and Ji Linger had already changed their appearances. It was just that the Frog King, who was watching them from inside the wooden tower, pointed out the change in Red Cloud and Ji Linger's appearances. Even though such a thing had happened, Boss Li did not show any reaction, as if he had already predicted it. This caused Hong Xia and Ji Linger to feel extremely furious in their hearts. It seems that Boss Li is interested in the bounty money. Chen Xiang transmitted his voice to the two girls and followed behind them as if nothing had happened. The three of them calmly walked towards the teleportation area. The purpose of this group of people was obvious. They had just received the Frog King's sound transmission and knew that the two girls in front of them were Red Cloud and Ji Linger. 20 to 30 people rushed forward and surrounded Chen Xiang. "What are you guys doing?" Hong Yun said in a low voice. "Aren't you afraid of offending the Eagle Emperor?" The young man leading the group of Super Holy School laughed sinisterly. "A small fight will not alarm the Eagle Emperor. Could it be that the two of you can cause a ruckus?" Ji Linger and Red Cloud were very strong, but the people from Super Holy School believed that as long as they could catch them in an instant and prevent them from making too much of a noise, they would not disturb the overlord of this holy tree. Chen Xiang rubbed his fist and laughed coldly. "Seems like you guys are still afraid of Eagle Emperor. Since that's the case, let's fight to the death and bring that Eagle Emperor out." When Red Cloud and Ji Linger heard Chen Xiang's words, they immediately had a bad premonition. When the people of Super Holy School felt that Chen Xiang's body was constantly being used with terrifying coercion, they were greatly shocked in their hearts. They did not expect that the two women, Hong Xia and Ji Linger, would actually find such a powerful helper so quickly. Chen Xiang's divine sense surged unceasingly, waves of divine power following his will and turned into an incomparably hot divine power of fire. "Quick, take him down!" The young leader of Super Holy School shouted in shock. Those experts of the Super Holy School were all gods with decent strength, so they were very clear on the terrifying nature of that power. But if they did not stop Chen Xiang with his berserk flame power at this moment, he would definitely be moved to the top of the holy tree. The experts of Super Holy School all brandished their saint weapons. Just as they were about to attack Chen Xiang's body suddenly exploded out with a burst of flames and disappeared. Just as everyone was startled, a wave of extremely hot qi suddenly surged from not too far away. Turning their heads to look, they saw that the top of the wooden tower was burning with gas. Chen Xiang had actually attacked the wooden tower first. Boss Li was originally gloating, but now his face was filled with anger as he rushed towards the burning wooden tower. This tower was the work of him. There were around 100,000 people on this branch. Seeing the wooden pag, they're ignited due to being attacked, they all ran away in fear. One of the elderly shouted, "Eagle Emperor hates it when people use fire here." Seeing that the situation was not good, the people from Super Holy School hastily ran away. Just as they were about to step forward, a majestic pressure suddenly enveloped them, causing them to instantly kneel on the ground as if they were carrying a mountain of 10,000 kilograms. "Don't even think about leaving, you were the ones who wanted to capture us. If the Eagle Emperor appeared, someone else would have to be responsible for this." Chen Xiang's cold voice sounded, and at the same time, a ball of fire flew over. The ball of fire crashed into the Super Holy School's group. It was a man who was struggling and howling due to the holy fire. The one who was burned by the sacred fire was the Frog King. Chen Xiang used his spatial energy and came over in an instant. He looked at the Frog King with an ice-cold face. "Don't think that we didn't know you called these guys over." Boss Li, quickly save me. Hurry up and save me, you have a snitch too." The Frog King roared loudly. The flame Chen Xiang had released was a strong sacred fire, and in just a moment, it had burned the wooden pag. At this moment, thick smoke surged and continuously soared into the sky, and when some of the branches in the distance saw the situation here, they were immediately filled with fear. On one hand, they were shocked by Chen Xiang's strength. On the other hand, they were very afraid in their hearts, and had even forgotten to urge Chen Xiang to leave this place quickly. Chen Xiang suddenly stared at Boss Li, who was far away. He grabbed at the air and grabbed onto S.P.A.C., grabbing onto Boss Li, then grabbing him from a distance, he threw him towards the Frog King, who was rolling on the ground, spitting out a ball of flame, striking towards Boss Li. Boss Li was also set on fire by the terrifying holy fire released by Chen Xiang, screaming and rolling about. "All of you are courting death. You can't blame me for this." Qin Xiang's voice that was filled with killing intent caused the experts in the super holy school to feel a chill down their spines. Although they were all holy immortals, they were all suppressed by the invisible pressure released by Qin Xiang. Qin Xiang walked towards a middle-aged man and sneered. "You are all super holy school's men, right? Don't worry, I won't kill you." After he finished speaking, he quickly waved his hand, only to see the middle-aged man screaming miserably, his face becoming extremely pale. In Qin Xiang's hand, a bright golden bead appeared. This was the heavenly pill that the middle-aged man condensed in his dantian. It was actually instantly taken out by someone. That middle-aged man did not have a single wound, and his heavenly dan seemed to have been taken out of his body through the air. This was precisely the spatial power Qin Xiang had used. The spatial rule spiritual bead he had fused with previously would display its true power with his current strength. Qin Xiang kept the heaven pellet and looked at the rest of the people in the super holy school. His cold and fierce gaze made the group of experts in the super holy school S.H.I. plus ver. If the heaven pill was taken out, it would be equivalent to crippling the body. Unless there was a supreme divine pill, otherwise, it would take a long time for it to recover. Return to the super holy school and tell your leader that if they do not withdraw their bounty soon, there will be a day when I annihilate the entire super holy school. Qin Xiang's hands suddenly danced in the air, and the group of super holy school people started to scream out. He had already taken out the heaven pills from their bodies at an extremely fast speed. To these experts, it was even more brutal than death. Red Cloud and Ji Linger were already drenched in sweat from Qin Xiang's actions. They seemed to think that their heaven pills would be taken out by Qin Xiang anytime soon, but they felt an inexplicable sense of excitement in their hearts. They who originally had no one to rely on, were no longer afraid of being bullied by others. Just as Qin Xiang was about to attack the Frog King and Bosley, an ear-piercing scream came out like thunder. The sound made everyone's heart feel as if something had ruthlessly struck their hearts, making them feel extremely uncomfortable. It really is this guy. This is the big bird that borrowed my Tianlong sword. Long Shui scoffed. Today, I must make him return the Tianlong sword, or else I must pluck all his bird feathers. Hearing this voice, everyone knew that the Eagle Emperor had appeared. Many of those who did not come to teleport away had a desperate feeling that the end of the world was coming. They were worried that the Eagle Emperor would get angry and kill them all. The appearance of the Eagle Emperor caused everyone to feel anxious. Only now did Red Cloud and Ji Linger react and send a sound transmission to Qin Xiang, telling him to leave quickly. The appearance of the Eagle Emperor caused everyone to feel anxious. Only now did Red Cloud and Ji Linger react and send a sound transmission to Qin Xiang, telling him to leave quickly. You guys leave first, it's still too late. I still have some matters to attend to here. On the contrary, Qin Xiang urged them to leave quickly. Hong Xia and Ji Linger hesitated for a moment, seeing that Qin Xiang was not joking. They anxiously rushed towards the teleportation area. With Qin Xiang's current strength, there was no need for them to worry. A gust of wind accompanied by a strong pressure descended from the sky in a grandiose manner, causing even Qin Xiang to feel quite a bit of pressure. When the gale appeared, the flames had already been extinguished. A black-faced man wearing a black feathered robe descended slowly from above, exuding a powerful pressure. This man's eyes were extremely sharp, like that of a falcon's. When he looked at the man, he felt like a prey. He felt like he was at the mercy of others. That's right, it's this guy. He's a green-furred eagle. Why is he wearing a black robe now? Could it be that this guy dyed himself black? Long Shui had already ascertained that the big bird who had borrowed her Tianlong sword back then was this Eagle Emperor before his eyes. Eagle Emperor looked around him, then looked at the man lying on the ground and moaned in pain. Seeing that Qin Xiang was not afraid at all, he already knew who was doing it. Don't you know the rules here? Eagle Emperor looked at Qin Xiang and his cold voice carried a clear killing intent. It could be seen that he was extremely angry at this moment, because someone actually disregarded his dignity. Chen Xiang said, I was also forced to do nothing, they were the ones who started it, you don't believe me to ask them, if I encounter something like that, can't I resist, in the end it's still your problem. As the owner of this tree, I can't get any guarantees for my safety, you can't blame me for that. When the Super Holy School and the rest initially saw how furious the Eagle Emperor was, they secretly rejoiced in their hearts, thinking that Chen Xiang was really unlucky. Who knew that Chen Xiang's guts were far beyond their imagination, and actually said such arrogant words. The Eagle Emperor frowned, because what Chen Xiang said was not without reason. If it was him, he would definitely resist too. In this kind of situation, whoever had some sort of rule to protect themselves was the king, and the person who dared to make a move was indeed his responsibility, and this was something he did not manage properly. All you need to do is answer me, whether or not you are threatening him first. The Eagle Emperor swept his cold eyes across them and looked at the group of people from Super Holy School. Those eagle-like eyes made the group of people forget about their pain. We're just following orders. Just as one of them answered, the black feathered robe that Eagle Emperor was wearing suddenly shot out a black feather that flew towards the person who answered just now. After that person was hit by the black feather, he instantly turned into a pile of black powder. Seeing this scene, the rest of the Super Holy School felt a sense of despair, and their bodies immediately turned cold. Fear spread to their entire body, and that kind of feeling was even worse than death for them. Chen Xiang laughed coldly. They are Super Holy School's people, they are indeed just following orders, it's just that they are small. You are a dignified Eagle Emperor, what meaning is there to kill these small fry? The reason they dare cause trouble in your territory is because they think that their Super Holy School is much stronger than you. As long as they weren't deaf, they would be able to hear it. However, he was speaking the truth with his ident. 1. Tai as a Eagle Emperor, dealing with these small things would only bring him down the price. He should go to the Super Holy School to seek an explanation. You are just a human, at most you are just a little stronger. Do you think I will be led astray by your nose? The Eagle Emperor was a little angry, and Chen Xiang kept talking to him as if she was instructing him. Chen Xiang laughed. I don't need to do what I say, but as the master here, if others come to your place to cause trouble, you will only eliminate a few small fries, and will not let the people here feel at ease, so the Super Holy School will underestimate you. Eagle Emperor laughed coldly. You don't need to say it, I already know this. Even though you were forced to take action, my rule is that no one is allowed to make a move on my territory. Not only did you make a move, you even set a fire, so you will still be punished. Originally, Eagle Emperor thought that Chen Xiang would be afraid. Before I get punished, I have to get something back. Chen Xiang suddenly became serious. He had already confirmed that the Tianlong sword was lent to this Eagle Emperor at that time. Stop being long-winded. You'd better obediently accept the punishment. That way, I will spare your life. Eagle Emperor's face turned ice-cold. Is the Tianlong sword still with you? I'm here for a friend. Chen Xiang did not dawdle and directly asked for the Tianlong sword. Sure enough, when Eagle Emperor heard the 3 words Tianlong sword, his expression suddenly changed. Your friend is still alive. Eagle Emperor's face turned serious, but at the same time, he was shocked. He had thought that Long Shui had already died. That's right, she's still alive. The Tianlong sword lent it to you for so long, you should have returned it already, right? Chen Xiang said. Eagle Emperor sneered. On what basis should I believe you unless she appears herself? After saying that, a white light flashed by Chen Xiang's side, and a beautiful white-clothed female appeared. Seeing the beautiful face of the lady, Eagle Emperor's face became extremely ugly. I've appeared, quickly return the Tianlong sword to me. Long Shui stretched out her hand and pouted slightly. It was obvious that she was dissatisfied, because the Tianlong sword had been in Eagle Emperor's hands for a long time, so she had clearly lost a lot. The Eagle Emperor looked at Long Shui carefully. His eagle eyes gave off a green glow, and when he saw the green glow in his eyes, Long Shui's face turned cold. "Are you looking at my strength? If I wasn't too strong, I wouldn't have returned it," Long Shui said coldly. Eagle Emperor smiled slightly. "Your divine deity is really gone. Sorry, I still have something to discuss today." With that, the Eagle Emperor turned into a gust of wind and disappeared, causing Long Shui to become extremely furious. He shouted at the Eagle Emperor, "Stupid green-hair eagle, you actually dared to act shamelessly. Just you wait, I'll give you 3 days. If you don't return my Tianlong sword, I'll chop off your broken tree. If you can cut it off, then please do so. But if you really can cut it off, then I don't need to return you the Tianlong sword." Eagle Emperor's words made Long Shui teared and exasperated. She activated her Heaven Tour method to look for traces of her Eagle Emperor. Eagle Emperor was very confident in this holy tree. It would even be very difficult for him to cut it down, let alone the others. Eagle Emperor was very confident in this holy tree. It would even be very difficult for him to cut it down, let alone the others. Long Shui was currently very angry. This Eagle Emperor actually dared to act shamelessly and blatantly. He did not plan to return the Tianlong sword to her. "I'll give you one more chance. If you don't return the Tianlong sword to me, you have to bear the consequences." Long Shui shouted angrily. The power of the heavenly dragon on her body continued to surge out along with her anger. The wind blew until the crown of the tree in the middle of the tree started to shake violently. When everyone saw how terrifying the woman was, they immediately fled. The Eagle Emperor was already an extremely powerful existence in their eyes, but the Eagle Emperor did not dare to face Long Shui alone. They had to hide even if they wanted to, which showed just how terrifying this beautiful woman was. As a Beast King, the Eagle Emperor was equivalent to a human strong of Lord Stage. He would rather offend Long Shui than return the Tianlong sword to him. "You have the guts to come and snatch it. This sword has been with me for so many years and has deep feelings for me. When I use it, it feels like it's connected to my flesh and blood. You can only blame yourself for being irresponsible and not taking it when it expires." Eagle Emperor's voice came from above, causing Long Shui to become even more furious. "You green-haired eagle, you're being unreasonable." Long Shui's face suddenly became calm, and I could tell that she was completely enraged. She looked at Chen Xiang and shouted, "Cut off this tree. I want to see if it is a Tianlong sword's treasure or this tree's treasure in his eyes." The holy tree was extremely thick, and it was even larger than several huge mountains. It had grown for so many years, and was as hard as iron. It was truly not easy to cut through. But Chen Xiang felt that it could be done. He nodded. "I need some time, and I do not wish to be disturbed." Long Shui's expression was solemn. He glared angrily at the sky and said coldly, "Don't worry, I guarantee that he won't disturb you. Moreover, I will also snatch the Tianlong sword back from his hands." The Eagle Emperor knew that Chen Xiang was very powerful. At this moment, he also wanted to see how Chen Xiang would break his holy tree. Chen Xiang immediately jumped down from the tree branch and landed on the ground. Normally, he was in charge of taking care of the holy tree, so he was extremely strong. Now that he was called over by the Eagle Emperor to deal with Chen Xiang, although the tree was very hard to break, the Eagle Emperor did not want anyone to damage the tree, so he sent a few of his subordinates to stop Chen Xiang. Long Shui, who was above, split a strand of his divine soul to inspect Chen Xiang's situation, and flew to the crown of the holy tree together with him. "Don't even think of getting close to him, Dragon Net." Chen Xiang originally wanted to help, but after hearing Long Shui's voice, he knew that he wouldn't need to focus on this matter. Long Shui would help him settle it. Eagle Emperor had sent over 10 giant black eagles, all of them were powerful holy beasts. They were flying over from all directions, but were suddenly enveloped by a light net. The light net's threads were all tiny dragon patterns. They looked extremely powerful, spraying out waves of dragon chi. Chun Xiang looked at the light webs in the sky and smiled slightly. He took out the green dragon demon-slain broadsword and injected some powerful energy into it, causing the green dragon demon-slain broadsword to grow big quickly. As it did so, the blade's body emitted a piercing green light. The deafening dragon roars caused the thick branches of the holy tree to shake frantically, the majestic green dragon blade chi rising up to the sky, causing the people on the tree branches to feel an indescribable fear, and they all left the holy tree through the transmission array. Why would the green dragon demon-slain broadsword appear here? Seeing that the green dragon demon-slain broadsword was getting bigger, and that the blade aura was filled with killing intent, the Eagle Emperor was shocked. He suddenly felt that the aura was very familiar, but also felt that it was a little strange. Heaven-Earth killing method. This is the killing power of the heaven and earth. Eagle Emperor never thought that Chun Xiang would be so secretive. Not only did he have his own green dragon demon-slain broadsword, he also cultivated the heaven-earth killing method. Quickly stop! Eagle Emperor suddenly roared out, releasing a sharp roar, the sound waves transforming into a powerful force, Rus. Hi+ing straight into the ground, striking towards Chun Xiang. Celestial Dragon Cover. Long Shui had guaranteed that she wouldn't be disturbed by this. Seeing the Eagle Emperor make a move, she released the power of her heavenly dragon form into a transparent dragon, coiling around Chun Xiang and forming a protective Hi+ELD. The terrifying sound wave released by the Eagle Emperor struck onto Long Shui's sky dragon barrier and actually bounced back, with the direction of its rebound being controlled by Long Shui. She controlled the sound wave's power, which did not weaken in the slightest, and rushed towards the first tree top, instantly eliminating tens of thick branches. The branches fell down like mountain ranges, rumbling and falling to the ground, causing the ground to shake. The rumbling sound seemed as if it was going to split the sky. Only now did Eagle Emperor realize that he had underestimated the strength of Long Shui and Chun Xiang, especially Long Shui, who was so strong even without his divine deity. Green Hawk, I've found you. When was attacking Chun Xiang, she had locked onto his position, and then rushed up, instantly arriving at the top of the holy tree, standing on a tree branch, facing Eagle Emperor. At this time, Chun Xiang's green dragon demon-slain broadsword had become very long, and could already cut through the thick trunk of the holy tree. Your precious holy tree is about to be chopped apart. Don't you feel the slightest bit of heartache? Long Shui asked. In her hand she held a white dragon sword. It was her white dragon sword. Humph, no matter what, I won't give you the Tianlong sword. Eagle Emperor's face was full of determination as he said coldly, If you have the guts, then cut down the holy tree. Long Shui clenched his teeth and said angrily, Fine, I don't need any more Tianlong sword. I want to capture you alive, torture you for millions of years. Isn't it just a bunch of broken Tianlong sword? It's fine if you don't want them. Seeing Long Shui's current state, he knew that she had made up her mind. Eagle Emperor was unavoidably worried, and immediately calculated that for the sake of the Tianlong sword, the holy tree was gone, and he might even be captured to torture. Thinking about it, he didn't feel that it was worth it. Stop, I will give you the Tianlong sword. Hurry up and tell that guy down there to stop. The Eagle Emperor avoided Long Shui's swift and fierce sword and shouted. Although Long Shui was the heavenly dragon supreme lord, and the green-furred eagle was the ruler here, when facing such a high and mighty sky dragon, he still felt a lot of pressure. Furthermore, Long Shui's current strength was even stronger than his previous divine deity. Ubastard, why didn't you act like this earlier? Long Shui scoffed, and immediately sent a sound transmission to Chun Xiang, telling him to stop his attack. It was not easy to grow it to this extent. Receiving Long Xue's sound transmission, he immediately withdrew his hand and flew up, following Long Xue's aura to the top of the tree branch. It was not easy to grow it to this extent. Receiving Long Xue's sound transmission, he immediately withdrew his hand and flew up, following Long Xue's aura to the top of the tree branch. Only now did Eagle Emperor attach great importance to Chen Xiang. He faintly felt that Chen Xiang was much more terrifying than him. He never thought that after he had isolated himself for so long, such an extraordinary person had actually appeared. Where did your green dragon demon-slaying broadsword come from, and your heaven-earth killing method? If there's only one of these things, it would be normal. But now that it's with you, it definitely isn't a coincidence. Eagle Emperor asked. Cut the C.R.A.P. Hurry up and take out the Tianlong sword. All of the stuff on this brat's body was given to him by Chi S. Hi+, and now Chi S. Hi+ has resurrected. Long Xue laughed coldly. Of course, if you're afraid of death, you can sell your soul to the H.E.L. Devil Emperor and exchange it for an eternal life. No one will look down on you. Eagle Emperor snorted, took out a sword and threw it to Long Xue. Now we owe each other nothing, leave quickly, I do not want to see you two again. Chen Xiang looked at the sword in his hand carefully. It looked like a wooden sword, but it did not have any threatening aura, nor any kind of terrifying sword chi. No matter how he looked at it, it seemed to be a wooden sword carved from ordinary wood, but he could tell from Long Xue's expression that this truly was the head of the Seven Dragons' sword. I also don't want to see you again. I didn't expect your character to be so bad. If I knew earlier, I wouldn't have lent you the Tianlong sword. Let's go. Long Xue withdrew his Tianlong sword and left the holy tree with Chen Xiang. After leaving the holy tree far behind, Long Xue entered the serene jade ring and asked Chen Xiang to take out the other Seven Dragons' sword. Chen Xiang still needed a bit more time to return to Red Cloud and Ji Linger's cave. Right now, all of the Seven Dragons' sword had been collected, so he was very curious about what would happen. Is that wooden sword really a Tianlong sword? Chen Xiang asked. Can you let me see? I haven't touched it yet. Of course, this Tianlong sword is no longer a holy sword, it should be a divine sword. I don't usually use it. Long Xue released the Tianlong sword. The moment he held it, he knew that the wooden sword was not ordinary. He waved it a few times, and at the same time, poured his divine power into it, but it was not as smooth as he had expected. When his divine power entered the Tianlong sword's body, it was blocked by something, and his divine power was not able to circulate smoothly. It really is difficult to use. Any celestial sword is not that difficult. Chen Xiang returned the Tianlong sword to Long Xue and asked, Put the Seven Dragons' sword together and see what reaction you have. Long Xue said, I'll try it now. After a while, Long Xue let out a dejected sigh. What's wrong? Is there no response from the Seven Dragons' sword together? Chen Xiang hurriedly asked. Hearing Long Xue's sigh, he also felt disappointed. There's a reaction, but it's not like what we imagined. When the Seven Dragons' sword is together, the seven sealed dragon souls inside will fuse together and the spirit grain inside the holy sword will float out and then combine together. However, it doesn't last long. Long Xue replied. Then what's going on? Chen Xiang frowned as he thought about it. I feel that the Seven Dragons' sword can only be effective when placed on something. I'll play a bit more with it and see if I can find that thing. Long Xue said. Chen Xiang did not directly return to the cave that Red Cloud and the others were in. In order to prevent being followed by the Eagle Emperor, he changed his appearance and traveled through SPAC several times before finally arriving at the mountain. Red Cloud and Ji Linger had already returned home a long time ago. When Chen Xiang arrived at the door, he immediately used his spatial energy to enter. Seeing that Chen Xiang had returned, Hong Xia and Ji Linger heaved a sigh of relief. Before they left, they heard the Eagle Emperor's whistle that resonated through countless of mountains and rivers. "I'm fine." Chen Xiang lightly slapped the two girls' faces and laughed. "We can start concocting pills now. Super Holy School has raised the price of many high-grade immortal pills to such a high level. If we can concoct them, the price would be very low, and we would be able to sell them very well." Ji Linger stuck out his tongue. "We only have a half-dead Luyuan azure fruit right now. Do you think that the Luyuan azure dan is beans or something?" Chen Xiang laughed but did not speak. In his eyes, they were indeed the same. "Don't run around during this period of time. When I come out, all of you stay here to cultivate for a while. It should be very chaotic outside. If nothing unexpected happens, the Eagle Emperor will definitely be bribed by the H.E.L. Devil Emperor," Chen Xiang said. Hong Xia and Ji Linger were very curious about what Chen Xiang had done at the Holy Tree, but they did not ask because Chen Xiang had become more and more mysterious in their eyes. Chen Xiang entered the secret room and took out the low-quality Luyuan azure fruit. He cut it in half and placed it inside a jade bowl, then took out a small jade bottle and dripped some spirit liquid onto the two halves of the immortal fruit. After using 2 drops, the originally terrible Luyuan azure fruit became 2, and the quality was very good. I never thought that using the immortal fruit would have such a good effect. In the future, I have to ask Qilian for more of her spirit liquid. The bottle in Chen Xiang's hand had been fused with his and LV Qilian's spirit liquid. Moreover, LV Qilian had mixed it with water before. If you don't add some holy water to dilute it, you can use it directly on the holy fruit. I really want to try it, Long Shui said. Taste your ass. You have already eaten so many sacred heart fruit. Do you still have any interest in these immortal fruits? Chen Xiang scolded. He cut the 2 Luyuan azure fruit open, cut them into 4.5 pieces, and dripped them into the spirit liquid. Very quickly, he obtained 4 of them. If only Sister Meiyao was here. I missed her so much. In the past, when Chen Xiang refined a new type of pill, he would always have Su Meiyao to guide him. Little scoundrel, you want to do that kind of shameful thing with her, he. Long Shui laughed sinisterly. I understand. Chen Xiang snorted. He took out the Yanlong furnace and poured the fire inside it. He heated up the pill furnace first and prepared to start concocting the pills. Not only did he become a saint, he also possessed the condensed divine deity. His control over all aspects was very strong. Even if he tried to concoct pills himself, he had great confidence in himself. His goal was to concoct pills. If he couldn't even get the immortal pills, then he wouldn't be able to become a pill saint. There were only 1 or 2 types of Tier 6 immortal pills. For example, the more common Tier 6 immortal pills were the Luyuan Azure Dan. The high Tier 1 immortal pills were very flexible, and that usually depended on the alchemist. According to the alchemist's experience and abilities, they could use some rare immortal medicines to concoct some useful immortal pills, which could be considered self-created. There were only 1 or 2 types of Tier 6 immortal pills. For example, the more common Tier 6 immortal pills were the Luyuan Azure Dan. The high Tier 1 immortal pills were very flexible, and that usually depended on the alchemist. According to the alchemist's experience and abilities, they could use some rare immortal medicines to concoct some useful immortal pills, which could be considered self-created. Because high-grade immortal medicines were few, they could be used to concoct pills. The uses of the immortal pills would be decided by the combination of the alchemist's, which would test the abilities of the alchemist. Of course, if there were a few more Luyuan azure fruit, the 6th rank Dan immortal would not try some of the pill formulas that no one had tried before. Right now, Chen Xiang had many Luyuan azure fruit. If he could refine a large number of them, it would be a huge impact to the sanctuary, especially for the medicine industry. Chen Xiang had a lot of experience in pill refining. According to the special characteristics of the Luyuan azure fruit, he could roughly guess the level of flame that he needed. The Luyuan Azure Dan could be refined using only one Luyuan Azure fruit, but this was only Chen Xiang's method of refinement. If it was refined by other alchemists, in order to ensure its success, they would even add a few supplementary medicinal ingredients, which was also a huge expense. The supplementary medicinal ingredients used were all over 10,000 years old. When Chen Xiang was refining pills, because he was cultivating the alive slain method, he was able to infuse some of the special spirit liquid energy, which could be used as supplementary medicine. The Luyuan Azure fruit was being burned by Chen Xiang's sacred fire inside the pill furnace. Not long later, the surface of the immortal fruit cracked, and the green energy that surged out actually burned up after touching the sacred fire, causing two types of flames to appear inside the pill furnace. One was his sacred fire, and the other was the Luyuan Azure fruit's azure fire. What's going on? The energy inside the Luyuan Azure fruit can actually be burned. Chen Xiang was very surprised, but according to his judgment, if he allowed the green flames to burn again, it would consume all the energy in the immortal fruit. He immediately released his divine power and penetrated into the green flames to search for the burning energy, and then mixed in some divine power to change the nature of the energy, preventing it from burning again. After controlling it, Chen Xiang heaved a sigh of relief, but not long after, the cracked immortal fruit spouted out another wave of energy. This time a mixture of green and purple flames appeared in the pill furnace. It's coming again. What's wrong with the Luyuan Azure fruit? It's made of fire, right? Why does it have so many colored flames? Chen Xiang used the method just now to control it. This kind of fruit can turn the innate qi into holy energy, so it can produce 6 different colored flames. These flames are all holy flames, but their power is very small and unique, so they can refine the innate qi into holy energy in an extremely gentle manner. Chen Xiang thought for a while, then stopped controlling the strange flames that were leaking out, but released a barrier inside the pill furnace instead, enveloping all of the flames inside. Even if the flames burned with energy, the final amount of energy would not dissipate. Now, what Chen Xiang needed to do was to speed up the refining of the Luyuan Azure fruit, and let the Luyuan Azure fruit get burned by the flames. The quality would become even higher. Every immortal fruit costs 20 million kilograms of holy stone. If it's a pill, the price will at least double, and that is 40 million kilograms of holy stone. We can sell it for 30 million kilograms of holy stone, and it will be sold very quickly. Long Shui laughed. As long as you refine a dozen or so and sell them all, you will have a lot of holy stone. This was not difficult for Chen Xiang at all, but Hong Xia and Ji Linger did not think so. They did not know how heaven-defying the spirit liquid that Chen Xiang had cultivated the alive slain method was, and felt that Chen Xiang would be able to make a huge profit just by refining one pill. Chen Xiang's current goal was only to make a breakthrough into the divine pills and earn some holy stone as well. Not good. Chen Xiang, who was initially progressing relatively smoothly, suddenly frowned, beads of perspiration trickling down his forehead, only to see the Yanlong furnace suddenly tremble. Chen Xiang anxiously opened the lid of the Yanlong furnace, only to see colorful flames shooting out from inside with a strong medicinal smell. Swallow that flame. Chen Xiang shouted to Long Shui. Long Shui immediately appeared in the secret room, and quickly absorbed the 6-colored flame. After that, he returned to the quiet jade ring and asked, "What's going on?" "I failed." Chen Xiang shook his head. "It can only be considered a failure. I did not expect the fire inside the Luyuan Azure fruit to be so strong. The moment I was about to completely refine it, the flame that suddenly exploded out was too strong. It caught me off guard, and I had no choice but to release some of it, otherwise I would have failed." "So you can go on now." Long Shui laughed. "If you had let me taste one first, this might not have happened." Chen Xiang sighed. "We can continue, but we can only condense one pill. If we don't lose those, the 3 Luyuan Azure Dan S will definitely not be a problem." It was already quite good for a Luyuan azure fruit to refine 3 pellets, at least not in this sacred domain. The more high-leveled the pellet, the more benefit it had in this aspect. Even if he did not know how to condense that type of heaven-defying spirit liquid that could replicate medicinal ingredients just based on the quant. 1 tie of the pellet, it would be sufficient for him to be like a fish in water. While Chen Xiang was refining the pellet, something big happened outside, but that was within Chen Xiang and Long Xue's expectations. The Eagle Emperor had announced that they would ally with the Super Holy School, and even though that was the case, the other big shots of the sanctuary knew that the Eagle Emperor had promised the H.E.L. Devil Envoy S to join them. The strong Beast Emperor had joined the Super Holy School, causing the Super Holy School to become even more powerful. Many of the strong powers, who had not been annexed by the Super Holy School, felt a lot of pressure at this moment, because they knew very well the Super Holy School's ambition. If they did not have the strong power to stop the Super Holy School, the Super Holy School would dominate the entire sacred region sooner or later. The leader didn't give up at this moment, and continued to search for Ji Linger and Red Cloud. This was because Ji Linger knew Chen Xiang, who had the Green Dragon Demon-Slain Broadsword, but Red Dawn had the Holy Spirit Fire. 3 days and 3 nights Paas said. Originally, Chen Xiang thought that he would only need a day to refine the Luyuan Azure Dan, but when he was refining, he encountered many problems. When he was carefully processing the Luyuan Azure Dan, he needed a lot of time. He had gained a lot in these 3 days. At least, he successfully refined a Luyuan Azure Dan and did not waste the Luyuan Azure fruit. Chen Xiang was currently refining a high-level immortal pill. It was equivalent to walking the stairs to the top, steadily advancing step by step. Chen Xiang was currently refining a high-level immortal pill. It was equivalent to walking the stairs to the top, steadily advancing step by step. I didn't expect this pill to be so expensive. Chen Xiang held a cyan-colored Luyuan Azure Dan, and such a small pellet could be sold for 50 million kilograms. This is the price that has skyrocketed by several times. If this was a normal price, many powers would be able to afford it. Long Xue said, if you could sell a few pills, you would definitely be able to make a huge profit. This is all because of that Super Holy School. Chen Xiang laughed and took out another Luyuan Azure fruit, preparing to refine medicine. When he had previously heard that Super Holy School controlled the price of medicinal pellets, he had already thanked Super Holy School in his heart. If not for Super Holy School, the current Luyuan Azure Dan would never have been able to buy pills at such a high price. There were still 19 Luyuan Azure fruit left. Chen Xiang wanted to turn all these immortal fruits into immortal pills, and with his experience of success, he would be able to relax a lot. Before he was extremely familiar with refining a type of pill, it would not be an easy task. Chen Xiang estimated that if he wanted to perfectly refine a cauldron of pills, it would still take 2 to 3 days. For him, this could be considered a slow speed, but for the other Dan Immortals, to refine a batch of Luyuan Azure Dan, they would need at least 10 days. Most of them would need at least 1 to 2 months to be able to refine a batch, thus his current speed was extremely terrifying. Chen Xiang spent the same amount of time as before to concoct the second batch of pills in 3 days and 3 nights. But this time, he still was not able to concoct a single batch perfectly, and some small mistakes occurred during the process, which resulted in a lot of leakage of energy. In the end, he could only condense 2 Luyuan Azure Dan pills, and if there were no errors, he could concoct 3 pellets. In order to become familiar with refining Luyuan Azure Dan, Chen Xiang didn't rest at all and stayed in the secret room to refine pills. In the blink of an eye, more than a month had passed, said. He had already used 10 Luyuan Azure Fruit S to refine a total of 25 Luyuan Azure Fruit. Now we can go out and enjoy ourselves. Chen Xiang smirked and walked out of the secret room. Every time he came out of the secret room, He always had Ji Linger and Red Cloud, the two beauties, to take care of him. However, he was disappointed when he came out this time because Red Cloud and Ji Linger were in closed-door cultivation, so he could only do it himself. He took out some Holy Spirit's water and placed it in the bath, soaking himself in it, and then removing the fatigue that he had mulat over the past few days. Where are you planning to sell those Luyuan Azure Dan? Long Shui laughed. Selling all of them is a huge number of holy stone. In this absolute monarch sanctuary, there are not many powers that can afford to eat all of them. Chen Xiang was comfortably bathing in the bath. He had thought about this before. I don't plan to sell it to the Divine Feather School because I'm familiar with it, so it's not easy to get a high price. I plan to sell some of it and use it to exchange for some herbs needed to concoct a grade 7 immortal pill. Chen Xiang said. Feng Yujie was a pill master. Her Divine Feather School must have stored all these high-grade immortal medicines. They could definitely refine them themselves. There was no lack of Luyuan Azure Dan. Adding on to the fact that they were familiar with each other, it would definitely not be easy to sell them to Divine Feather School for such a crazy price. I can only wait for those two beauties to come out. Chen Xiang walked out of the bath, put on his clothes, and sat in the hall to wait patiently. He did not want to refine pills right now at this moment, so he needed to calm down after concocting pills for more than a month. When he had nothing else to do, he used the Heaven Tour method and let his spirit wander around, looking at his surroundings. It was dusk. He had wanted to see the sunset, but as soon as his soul left the cave, he realized something was wrong. Why are there so many bats? Chen Xiang frowned. These bats are no ordinary bats. In the past, there aren't any here, and moreover, there is a very evil energy in their bodies. Long Shui said, I'll go out and take a look. She also used her Heaven Tour method to look at the bat that Chen Xiang was talking about. This type of bat should be from Hell. Its name is Hell Devil Bat, and it's a vampire bat. Long Shui took a deep breath. If there were enough of them, then, if a normal immortal met them, he would be sucked into the pit within an instant. In addition, this Hell Devil Bat has another ability, and that is to search for people. In addition, this Hell Devil Bat has another ability, and that is to search for people. Chen Xiang said, It seems like these Hell Devil Bats are used to search for us. This place is full of them. I wonder who released them. Is there any way to prevent these things from being detected? These things can't detect you, but it's hard to say for Red Cloud and Ji Linger. Even if these underworld devil bats are far away, they can still smell the scent of fresh blood. Long Shui said, It could be the Eagle Emperor who sent them, or perhaps they are the leaders of the Super Holy School. They don't have the blood aura of those two little girls, so they shouldn't be able to find them, right? Chen Xiang said. He was not afraid of these Hell Devil Bats. It's hard to say. If they used it or stayed in it, it would have left behind a weak scent of blood. As long as Master can sense it, it can reach all the Hell Devil Bats. Long Shui said, You should prepare yourself. Being entangled by these underworld devil bats is not a good thing. Chen Xiang and Long Shui's souls were outside, and when the sky was completely dark, they suddenly realized that there were more and more Hell demon bats gathered here. They discovered us so quickly. Chen Xiang took out his devil-suppressing mirror S. Using the demon-suppressing equipment to deal with this kind of evil thing was the most effective. Long Shui said, You should wake them up first. They have already discovered us. It won't be long before those powerful fellows arrive here. Chen Xiang nodded and rushed to knock on the door. Hong Xia and Ji Linger did not stay in their room for too long. They woke up very quickly. When they opened the door and saw Chen Xiang's serious expression, they knew that something had happened. There's a large group of Hell's magic bats outside. They're like dogs that are specially used to search for people. We should have already been discovered by now. Very soon, very strong people will arrive. Chen Xiang cut a long story short. Then what do we do now? She and Ji Linger were not nervous either, because they knew that Chen Xiang would definitely have a way to fix it. Chen Xiang laughed and said, I'll temporarily stay inside one of my treasures. It's very beautiful inside. Both Red Cloud and Ji Linger had no objections, so Chen Xiang placed them into the ring. Long Shui, who was inside, also did not avoid them, but continued to brag with them. Before Red Cloud and Ji Linger entered, Chen Xiang separately asked them for 2 drops of blood. Using his spatial energy, he placed the 2 drops of blood in the depths of the cave, and then used a spatial travel technique to quietly leave the cave. Chen Xiang did not leave the place for a long time as he hid outside. He wanted to see who exactly controlled these underworld devil bat. You and I can't be a problem to deal with the Eagle Emperor together, but if there's one more super holy school from the super holy school or some other powerful fellow, it'll be difficult. You and I can't be a problem to deal with the Eagle Emperor together, but if there's one more super holy school from the super holy school or some other powerful fellow, it'll be difficult. Long Shui could see through Chen Xiang's thoughts. He was waiting for the strong warriors who were controlling the underworld devil bats to come over, hiding at the side to find an opportunity to make a move. Chen Xiang said, It doesn't matter, as long as they are still here, I will meet them sooner or later. Not long after, the number of HEL's magic bats in the sky increased, and the light of the moon and stars shrouded the sky, causing the entire area to be shrouded in darkness. There may seem to be a lot of these HEL devil bats, but they are all very precious, and they are all adults. To grow to this point, it would take at least 10,000 years, and these types of HEL devil bats would usually be led by a HEL bat king. Long Shui said, HEL bat king isn't weak either, he's as powerful as the HEL dragon, and even stronger than them. Chen Xiang chuckled. Eagle Emperor must have joined the HEL Devil Emperor, so these underworld devil bats should have been borrowed from him and the leader. If we kill more than half of them, it would be hard for them to explain themselves. The HEL devil bats were all circling in the air, emitting an eerie sound that sent chills down one's spine. Oh. He's coming. Long Shui shouted lightly. Eagle Emperor has indeed come. Other than Eagle Emperor, there are 3 other fellows with very strong strengths, all of them are on par with Eagle Emperor. Chen Xiang nodded. One of them is definitely the leader of the Super Holy School. Even in the dark of the night, he could clearly see the few people standing at the entrance of the cave. Other than the Eagle Emperor, the other 3 were indeed very strong, and one of them had a pair of bat wings on his back. Other than Eagle Emperor and HEL Bat King, there was also a white-robed elderly man and a black-clothed middle-aged man. That white-robed elderly man was Super Holy School. Hong Xia and Ji Linger had once described his appearance. Who else is there? Chen Xiang was suspicious, and the middle-aged man in black then told Hong Xia and Ji Linger. After Hong Xia and Ji Linger heard this, their expressions changed slightly. Who is that guy? Long Shui asked anxiously. The Fox Emperor is a monster emperor. It's very normal for someone as cunning as him to be bought by the HEL Devil Emperor, Red Cloud said. However, they felt that it was very normal after thinking about it. This was because the Eagle Emperor saw Long Shui and Chen Xiang as having the same strength as them. In order to be absolutely safe, it would be better to have a few more strong warriors. Eagle Emperor and the other 3 stood outside the cave, not entering. They were discussing something. According to the information I received, the man holding the green dragon demon-slain broadsword came from 9 Heaven World, so I am not too clear about his strength. However, there are many tricks he knows about heaven-earth killing method, and he has grasped many powerful weapons, the Hel Bat King said. The Eagle Emperor nodded his head. Someone who can obtain Green Dragon Demon Slain Broadsword and can also control heaven-earth killing method is definitely not simple. We must not underestimate him, and there is also that White Dragon, who is known as Heavenly Dragon Supreme Lord back then, and is also very strong. Super Holy School looked at Hel Bat King and asked, "Are you sure they are inside?" Hel Bat King did not answer immediately. Instead, he closed his eyes to sense the surroundings. When he opened his eyes, there were some doubts on his face. "I can sense the blood chi of the two women. Are they Chen Xiang's or Bai Long's?" The Fox King replied, "This is not strange. Their concealing ability is very strong. I can also prevent you from sensing the blood aura. As long as you are sure that the two little girls are inside, it will be fine." Hel Bat King was still vigilant in his heart, he said. "We already agreed that we will only bring you guys here, we won't go in. That Chen Xiang's Green Dragon Demon Slain Broadsword and those techniques and treasures he has to restrain the evil spirits are very strong. I don't want to face a guy like him." "That's good. The three of us will go in. You just stay outside and watch. Just don't let them get away." He really wanted the Holy Spirit fire of the Red Dawn, and it was right in front of him now. Although Chen Xiang and Long Shui were a threat, they felt that with their tens of thousands of years of cultivation, it wouldn't be difficult for them to catch the Red Dawn. The one who broke through the door was Eagle Emperor. Although the cave had a powerful array formation, the Eagle Emperor's claws just instantly shattered. Fox King and Super Holy School's leader immediately rushed in with Eagle Emperor following closely behind. The chance has come. Chen Xiang's heart was in ecstasy. He anxiously crossed the SPAC and arrived at the entrance of the cave. At the same time, he took out a small pag. "Oh des, Hi plus Ning with holy light." This was the Demon God suppressing pag. Oda. Chen Xiang suddenly injected a surge of devil-suppressing magic power into the divine tower, causing it to immediately become extremely large. Following Chen Xiang's control, the tower instantly pressed down towards Hel Bat King. The Hel Bat King reacted very quickly. He could sense the spatial ripples in the surroundings, and immediately flew into the air, but Chen Xiang's Demon God suppressing pag. Oda was extremely powerful. Under the control of Chen Xiang's spatial energy, the Demon God suppressing pag. Oda instantly moved sing through SPAC, following Chen Xiang's divine sense and chasing after the fleeing Hel Bat King. He was especially afraid of Chen Xiang. When he went to Nine Heaven World, he had long heard of Chen Xiang's mighty name. As long as it was an evil demon, there was no one who wasn't afraid of the things that Chen Xiang had on him. "You can't run away, haha." Chen Xiang laughed out loud. The Demon God suppressing pag. Oda generated a strong suction force that became as huge as a mountain, causing the Hel Bat King and a large group of Hel demon bats to be sucked in through the window. All of these things happened extremely quickly, and only now did the three people know when Chen Xiang had grabbed the Hel Bat King. When they walked out of the cave, it was quiet outside. The horde of bats that had covered the moon and the stars had disappeared, and when the light of the stars and moon shone down, they would occasionally fly past one or two clouds, and the Hel Bat King had also disappeared. In the blink of an eye, Hel Bat King and the numerous Hel demonic bats disappeared without a trace. Eagle Emperor and the others only felt that it was extremely strange. Through the remnant energy aura, they could clearly feel the strong devil-suppressing magic power. It was Chen Xiang who did it. "This fellow is really cunning. What do we do now? El Bat King was captured by him. El Devil Envoy will definitely laugh at us. The Fox Emperor's face was filled with anger. He had actually been tricked by Chen Xiang. Right now, their only gain was that they knew that Chen Xiang and Long Xue's strength were not very terrifying. They did not dare to face them, and only dared to secretly attack El Bat King. After Chen Xiang used the demon G.O.D. slaying Pag Oda to capture El Bat King and all the El demon bats, he teleported far away. At this moment, he was hiding in a cave and laughing. The El Bat King and the millions of El Devil Bats are great tonics. They contain a lot of pure and strong blood. You can refine them into high-level blood cores. Long Xue laughed. The HELL Bat King's strength was about the same as the Beast Emperor's. If they could refine the blood essence in his body into a blood pill, they would definitely be holy pellet, but Chen Xiang was not at that level yet. The HELL Bat King's strength was about the same as the Beast Emperor's. If they could refine the blood essence in his body into a blood pill, they would definitely be holy pellet, but Chen Xiang was not at that level yet. As for the other little bats, it was much simpler. He used the devil-suppressing magic power to form a giant net, grabbed a large amount of HELL demon bats and threw them into the Yanlong furnace. HELL demon bats had a total of 5 to 6 million, and every million, they would only concoct one blood pill. Chen Xiang spent 10 days to concoct 6 blood pills. All of them were at least at the level of a grade 7 immortal pill. They were originally going to give them to Ji Linger and Hong Xia, but they rejected them because they weren't of much use to them. Ji Linger felt that it was more appropriate to leave them to Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu. Chen Xiang also did not eat. His thoughts were the same as Ji Linger. Ji Linger, Red Cloud and Long Xue, the 3 girls, all left the ring at this time and roasted the high-quality beast meat that Long Xue had stored in the cave. Ji Linger and Hong Xia were extremely worried, while Long Xue continued to eat the beast meat without a care in the world. Don't be afraid, with little scoundrel here, there's nothing to worry about. Long Xue wanted to use that greasy jade hand to slap Chen Xiang's face, but was slapped away by Chen Xiang. Hong Xia sighed, "It's all my fault. If not for the Holy Spirit fire on me being targeted, this situation wouldn't have happened." Red Cloud had learned from Long Xue that Chen Xiang had killed an important HELL Bat King. She was worried about Chen Xiang because it would make HELL Devil Emperor angry. Long Xue laughed. Red Cloud, Holy Spirit Fire usually have 2 souls, you should make good use of them. How did you know that the Holy Spirit Fire is a dual soul? This is my secret, I have never told anyone else before. Red Cloud was very surprised. I've met 2 guys before. They both have Holy Spirit Fire S and they both have twin souls. I'm sure I'm aware of that. Long Xue said. Hong Xia looked at Chen Xiang and said, Chen Xiang, I want to give you a set of Holy Spirit Fire, but I don't know what to do. Chen Xiang was a little surprised. He shook his head and laughed. I don't need it, my current fire soul is already very powerful. Even if I get the Holy Spirit Fire, it won't be of much use to me. Long Xue nodded his head. Giving the Holy Spirit Fire to this little scoundrel would only be a waste. The strength of the fire soul in his body is something even I cannot estimate, so I suggest that you give the Holy Spirit Fire to Linger, and then the 2 of you copy the little scoundrel's fire soul, so that you too can wield a powerful fire soul. She had mentioned this to Ji Linger before as well, but Ji Linger felt that it would be better if she gave it to Chen Xiang, as they would only be able to repay him with such things. Furthermore, even if Hong Xia wanted to, she didn't know how to give it to him. Amen, but I don't know how to transfer one Holy Spirit Fire to Linger. Hong Xia looked at Ji Linger and said. Long Xue replied, Leave that to me. I'm most adept at such things. She had trained in the Tao of the Gods since she was young, and was extremely proficient in it. This was no lie. Wait a moment before we enter the ring. I will help you guys complete the fusion of the Holy Spirit fire, adding the copy of Little Scoundrel's fire soul. I'm afraid that it will take some time. At the fastest, it will take 2 months. Chen Xiang said, I can take this opportunity to refine pills, you guys take your time. After Red Cloud and Ji Linger entered the ring, Long Shui transmitted his voice to Chen Xiang and said with a smile, if they could copy your fire soul, their strength would definitely increase greatly, especially in the area of flames. Well, that's a good thing, but you seem to have another purpose. Chen Xiang suddenly felt that Long Shui seemed to be planning something, and their current strength is limited, and the strength of their flames are also far from enough to refine divine weapons. However, if Hong Xia and Ji Linger were to help them, their results in refining the divine weapon would be twice the result with half the work they had done. Long Shui laughed. Other than this, teach them well, they can also help you refine pills. Some powerful pill masters sometimes pass the pill furnace to their own disciples to watch over, then go do it for themselves. Not only that, after Red Cloud gives the Holy Spirit fire to Ji Linger, as all the Holy Spirit fire have the special surname of twin twins. The separate Holy Spirit fire in their bodies will not feel lonely. They will give birth to one more, and at that time they will be able to give the bread Holy Spirit fire to your elder sister Menger, Xianxian, and the others. Chen Xiang couldn't help but admire Long Shui's long-term considerations. He laughed. As expected of the Heavenly Dragon Supreme Lord, your thinking is really thoughtful. Of course, if you do your best to concoct pills, I'll help them settle their problems. Long Shui said proudly. Chen Xiang used 20 days to completely refine all 10 remaining Luyuan azure fruit into pellet. This time, he succeeded in refining all of them. Red Cloud had already successfully transferred a Holy Spirit fire into Ji Linger's body. Ji Linger had perfectly fused with it, and now they were all using the special surname of Holy Spirit fire to duplicate Chen Xiang's fire soul. In order to perfectly replicate Chen Xiang's fire soul, he would need Chen Xiang's chance to provide him with a spirit soul. This was not a difficult task for Chen Xiang. As long as he rested for a few days, he would be able to recover. It had already been more than a month since the Bat King was captured by Chen Xiang, and Chen Xiang had no idea what was happening outside. Now that Hong Xia and Ji Linger had not finished copying his fire soul, he didn't want to walk around randomly to prevent any accident. He could only use the Heaven Tour method to search around where there were people at. After investigating for a long time, he was somewhat surprised. This was because the Infernal Realm did not make any big movements, and the alliance of the Super Holy School, Eagle Emperor and the Fox Emperor, the 2 Beast Kings, expanded at an increasing rate within the sanctuary. Even the Divine Feather School felt pressure from this. Divine Feather School's leader was a woman, and normally, she would not partake. 1p. 8 in battles, making a huge fortune out of it. However, Super Holy School's ambition was very big, and she wanted to take control of everything. Therefore, Divine Feather School's current situation was very dangerous, and if she continued to maintain a stalemate with Super Holy School, a great battle would happen sooner or later. Although Feng Yujie was a woman, she was a pill saint, and many rankers in the sanctuary would have to see her. Otherwise, if she joined the Super Holy School and was hostile to the Divine Feather School, it would be difficult for her to find Feng Yujie to refine holy pellets in the future. It would not be easy for the Super Holy School to take over the Divine Feather School. Feng Yujie relied on his ident. 1. Tai as a pill saint and his extensive network and connections. Even if it was an expert joining the Super Holy School, he did not want to offend her. Aunt Feng is currently Sister Meiyao and Sister Yu Yu's mother. We have to think of a way to help her. Chen Xiang said. She can still drag it out for a while. She should be more than enough for us to prepare. Long Shui said. If you want to help her, the best way is to directly eliminate Super Holy School. After waiting for a few days, Ji Linger and Red Cloud finally woke up. They had already copied Chen Xiang's Fire Soul, and they still needed to absorb a large amount of energy and cultivate for a while before they could obtain a strong flame like Chen Xiang. After waiting for a few days, Ji Linger and Red Cloud finally woke up. They had already copied Chen Xiang's Fire Soul, and they still needed to absorb a large amount of energy and cultivate for a while before they could obtain a strong flame like Chen Xiang. All you need to do is tell me where to sell the Luyuan Azure Dan. Chen Xiang said, all of you continue to cultivate inside, it is not safe outside. Hong Xia replied, in a city near Super Old Sacred City. It's called Yen City, and the person in charge of this city is a very powerful force. He has always been at odds with Super Holy School. This power is a family that pays a lot of attention to bloodlines. If one is born without a fire soul, they would be abandoned and wouldn't be able to become a core member of the family. Their bloodlines are very strong, and almost all of their descendants have a fire soul. Chen Xiang said in surprise. In that case, Yen clan is a family that uses fire to become strong. I don't know if they are good enough to talk about it. Ji Linger said. The people from Yen clan are all pretty good, it's just that their temper is a bit too strong. If you talk to them properly, they would still be very polite to you, although there are many outstanding alchemists, but they also buy high-level immortal pills, and they are very rich, and selling the Luyuan Azure Danes to them is the most suitable. Hong Xia and Ji Linger already knew about Chen Xiang's heaven-defying spirit liquid, so they were even more determined to follow Chen Xiang now. They wouldn't run around for a high-leveled pill in the future. When Chen Xiang came to the Super Old Sacred City, he was initially controlled by a few big powers, but now, he was basically controlled by the Super Holy School. Even though the Divine Feather School was also established here, but now, he did not have any authority at all. After walking around the Super Old Sacred City for a while, Chen Xiang understood that the reason for Super Holy School's recent activities was to continuously expand his power and recruit many experts. This was in order to make it easier to take down Di Tian and control the Nine Heaven World. What worried Chen Xiang were not only the Super Holy School's, but also the few other heavenly realms, especially the Heavenly Dragon Realm. When that time came, Super Holy School would lead the powerful forces of the Saint Realm and unite with the other heavenly realms. With Di Tian's few strong of Lord Stage S, it would probably be hard for them to fight against them. Arriving at the teleportation area, Chen Xiang asked an old man in charge of managing the transmission array, "Where is the transmission array that was teleported to Yen City?" The old man looked at Chen Xiang strangely. "To Yen City? Don't you know that Yen City has been sealed up?" Chen Xiang indeed did not know, otherwise he would not have come. "Can you tell me about this matter?" The old man said, "The main reason is that Super Holy School and a few other major powers are preparing to force Yen Clan to submit. Many of the transmission arrays that lead to Yen City have been closed, so if everyone wants to go to Yen City in the future, they can only go on foot. This can be considered Super Holy School's warning to Yen City." "How long has this been going on?" Chen Xiang asked again, what was going through his mind. "It's been over a month, but Super Holy School doesn't dare to be tough on Yen City. If we can negotiate with them, we might be able to avoid a war in the near future," the old man said. Chen Xiang teleported to a doorway, left Super Old Sacred City, and headed towards Yen City. Red Cloud had told Chen Xiang before that the Yen clan did not produce medicinal ingredients from other powers. Those powers were basically controlled by the Super Holy School at the moment, so the prices of the immortal medicines that the Yen clan bought were also very high. Right now, he felt that the Yen clan in Yen City could be considered not bad, at least they dared to go against Super Holy School. If he wanted to deal with Super Holy School in the future, having a strong ally was not a bad thing. Looks like I can't just focus on earning the holy stone now. I should make use of this opportunity to befriend the Yin clan. Chen Xiang told Long Shui and the others his thoughts. Red Cloud said, the relations Hi+P between Yin clan and him is very normal. We rarely interact with him in normal times, but it's not too difficult for you to get them together right now, because they are all in similar situations. Ji Linger said, once the Super Holy School possesses sufficient strength, they will ignore everything else and eliminate the forces that threaten them. This will allow them to steadily control the sacred domain and then attack the Nine Heaven World. Long Shui and the other two all approved of Chen Xiang becoming friends with Yin clan, which caused Chen Xiang to speed up his journey towards Yin City. Although Yin City was near the super old sacred city, it was not close at all. It was only because Yin City was the closest city to the super old sacred city that people said that Chen Xiang had never been to Yin City, so he could not determine the distance. Even so, it still took him 2 days to get there. If it were anyone else, it would take more than 10 days, but their transmission array was sealed by the Super Holy School, making it very inconvenient for many people to head towards Yin City. It had a huge impact on Yin City's development. When Chen Xiang arrived at Yin City, it was completely empty. Previously, Red Cloud had told Ji Linger that this was a very lively city, but now it had become like this. The Yin clan must be very angry, but I wonder what they plan to do, whether they will submit to the Super Holy School, or resist the Super Holy School. Hong Xia said, let's go to Yin clan to take a look. After Yin City was sealed off by the Super Holy School, many people here were worried that the Super Holy School would attack, and in order to not get involved, they could only leave. The big doors of the Yin clan was opened wide. The guards to the door were extremely strdy, standing straight and mighty anywhere. They were very imposing. Even though Yin City was empty right now, the guards were not affected at all, giving Chen Xiang a very good impression of them. Chen Xiang stood at the serious and solemn entrance, and asked one of the guards, I want to discuss business with the people from Yin clan, can you help me notify them? The guard took out a communication jade token and sent a message. Not long later, a hunchbacked old man slowly walked out and asked Chen Xiang with a smile, what business do you want to discuss, buy it or sell it? Chen Xiang said, I have a little Lu Yuan Azure Dan, I don't know if you should accept it or not. When the hunchbacked old man heard that someone was selling the Lu Yuan Azure Dan, he was slightly surprised and said, currently, the Lu Yuan Azure Dan are relatively rare immortal pills. If you use them well, you might be able to successfully transform into a saint. Chen Xiang nodded, I'm sure. Please come in. Chen Xiang followed the hunchbacked old man into a hall. The hunchbacked old man told Chen Xiang to wait here for a while. He went to call the higher-ups of the Yin clan to discuss this. He was just a butler here. He could not make the decision. The style of this Yin clan is quite good. When we entered, we saw that the guards were all quite strong, with a lot of discipline. Chen Xiang praised. Looks like this Yin clan isn't one of those aristocratic families that would yield so easily. Yin clan was currently hostile to Super Holy School because Super Holy School was very powerful. Originally, many forces with good relations with Yin clan had no choice but to distance themselves from him, and some even sided with him to prevent him from destroying them. Yin clan was currently hostile to Super Holy School because Super Holy School was very powerful. Originally, many forces with good relations with Yin clan had no choice but to distance themselves from him, and some even sided with him to prevent him from destroying them. But now that Chen Xiang had come to do business with the Yin clan, it made the upper echelons of the Yin clan greatly value him. The person who came out to discuss with Chen Xiang was the patriarch of the Yin clan, a strdy old man with a scar on his face. I am the patriarch of the Yin clan, Yin Qi. Although Yin Qi had a serious face, he was extremely polite and gave a gentle smile to Chen Xiang. I am Chen Xiang, and have heard of Patriarch Yan's great name for a long time. Qin Xiang cupped his hands and smiled. Long story short, I have some Luyuan Azure Dan. You should know why I'm here, right? Yan Qi nodded and asked, How many Luyuan Azure Dan do you have? Qin Xiang replied, 55 pills. Hearing Qin Xiang say this number, Yan Qi was surprised. This was not a small number. Even though we need Luyuan Azure Dan, we don't need that many. Furthermore, the price of Luyuan Azure Dan are very high right now, so you should be clear about this. Yan Qi said. He wanted to buy these 55 Luyuan Azure Dan. Qin Xiang laughed, Clan Chief Yan. I am still looking for you to do business in your Yan clan given the current situation. Naturally, I am not planning to earn your holy stone S. The other places have 30 to 40 million S for one pellet. Yan Qi was curious about why Qin Xiang would come to find his Yan clan before this. Now that Qin Xiang had said it this way, he knew that Qin Xiang had other motives for coming here. Do you need anything from our Yan clan, or do you have other goals? Yan Qi directly asked. Because we have a common enemy and our relations. Hi+P is not bad. I feel that your Yan clan should have a good talk with him now, and perhaps you two might be able to become allies in the future. Qin Xiang said. It's just that I don't know what Divine Feather School's final attitude will be. If Divine Feather School also defends himself with Super Holy School, then we might be set up by Divine Feather School. At this time, Yan Qi was looking at Qin Xiang with a vigilant expression. He was worried that Qin Xiang was sent by the Super Holy School. Qin Xiang took out a box of Luyuan Azure Dan and said, You guys should have heard about the matter of Super Holy School's visit to the Holy Beast Mountain Range a while back. Yan Qi was shocked. He said, Not long ago, two great events occurred in the Sacred Beast Mountain Range. Eagle Emperor and a mysterious person battled in the Sacred Tree, and after that, Super Holy School and two Beast Emperors went to capture Red Cloud and Ji Ling. However, they did not manage to catch them. The Yan clan had sent people to thoroughly investigate and finally discovered some clues. They knew that Red Cloud and Ji Linger had gone there to buy Luyuan Azure Fruit S, and now that Qin Xiang had sold so many Luyuan Azure Dan S, Yan Qi only needed to think for a moment to know that Qin Xiang was related to this matter. Red Cloud and Ji Linger are my friends. At that time, I offended the Eagle Emperor and the leader so they wouldn't let me off. Qin Xiang sighed. In that case, you are the one who wielded the green dragon demon-slain broadsword and wanted to cut down the holy tree. Yan Qi asked with a surprised expression. Qin Xiang nodded his head and laughed. That's me. Clan leader Yan probably doesn't need to doubt me now, right? I truly wish to join hands with you too. In the future when we go against Super Holy School, you guys won't be so willing to surrender to it, right? You said that your relations, Hi+P with Divine Feather School is not bad. Yan Qi asked again. You should know that Feng Yujie is a pill saint, so we have a good relations. Hi+P, Qin Xiang said. Well, I'll talk to her. Yan Qi laughed. Just now, you said that there was a Luyuan Azure Dan weighing 10 million kilograms. Is that still true? Qin Xiang laughed. Of course, how much do you need? 10 is enough. Qin Xiang handed over the box of Luyuan Azure Dan, allowing Yan Qi to choose 10 of them. This showed that he was extremely confident in Yan Qi. This is a 100 million kilogram holy stone. At this time, Yan Qi's impression of Qin Xiang was very good, and when he looked carefully at those Luyuan Azure Dan, his expression revealed a trace of surprise. Who refined these pills? They are all of high quality and of the same standard. Their control over them is extraordinary. Yan Qi praised. As the patriarch of the Yan clan, he was very familiar with the art of pill refining and was a very knowledgeable person. Qin Xiang laughed. I refined it. Yan Qi was shocked. I thought that Feng Yujie had refined it. This level of refining is already close to that of a pill saint. Right now, I can only refine Luyuan Azure Dan. Yan Qi took a deep breath. In that case, these are all your masterpieces. The fact that his training was so good was enough to shock Yan Qi. It can't be considered practice. I've always been like this when I'm refining pills. I only want the best. Chen Xiang laughed. I still have 45 pills left. I wonder if clan leader Yen can arrange a place for me to sell all of these pills. Do you want to sell it in Yen City? Only selling that many Luyuan Azure Dan at once would definitely attract many people. The reason Chen Xiang was selling them in Yen City was to alleviate the desolate situation in Yen City. That's right, all the pills are now under the control of Super Holy School. I want to do some pill business here and see how Super Holy School will react. Chen Xiang laughed. Right now, there are many empty shops in Yen City. I'll give you one, and I'll arrange for a butler to take you there. In addition, I'll send someone to spread the news that you have Luyuan Azure Danas that are selling here, and their prices are much cheaper than elsewhere. Right now, the Yen clan did not sell any pellet. If Yen City became lively, then their Yen clan could just collect and rent many holy stone. I'll wait for 1 or 2 months before I start. I don't have many pills on hand right now. Chen Xiang never thought that Yan Qi would be that easy to talk to. He had originally only planned to sell Luyuan Azure Danas, but when Yan Qi said this, he wanted to sell even more immortal pills to fight Super Holy School. Alright, come find me when you're ready, Yan Qi said. Chen Xiang hurriedly left Yen City and headed towards Super Old Sacred City, then to Divine Feather School. She also knew that Chen Xiang had a huge battle with Eagle Emperor. Now that Chen Xiang had come to look for her, it just so happened that she had the same intention as well, because she also wanted to see Chen Xiang. Aunt Feng, you're being too polite. Chen Xiang was invited to a beautiful living room, where a table was filled with spirit fruit. Chen Xiang unceremoniously ate the spirit fruits, and then stealthily said them to Long Shui. Feng Yujie gracefully sat there. At this moment, she had just taken over the Divine Feather School from before, and was wearing a set of clothes. Why have you come to find me? You and Mei Yao did not come out of seclusion that quickly. I have already told you this before. Chen Xiang really wanted to see Su Mei Yao. Hearing Feng Yujie's words, he was rather disappointed. Chen Xiang really wanted to see Su Mei Yao. Hearing Feng Yujie's words, he was rather disappointed. Aunt Feng, I just came over from Yen Clan. Chen Xiang said. Yen Clan, what are you doing there? Feng Yujie had been paying attention to the Yen Clan during this period of time because the situation was similar to hers and her Divine Feather School. It was just that the current Divine Feather School was much better than the one before, and not sealed by the Super Holy School. I'll go there to sell the Luyuan Azure Dan. I intend to join hands with them to deal with Super Holy School. Would you like to join us? Chen Xiang asked. You talked it over with them. Feng Yujie's heart skipped a beat. Of course she wanted to join. What she wished for was for her to join them. Now that she understood why Chen Xiang had come, Chen Xiang must have considered about the plight of her Divine Feather School. Chen Xiang laughed. We have already discussed this. The Patriarch of Yen Clan should be here to discuss about the matter of cooperation with you very soon, but this matter should be kept a secret. Don't let the Super Holy School find out about the alliance between you two. At the very least, when they start a fight, it wasn't time for me to face the Super Holy School alone. Feng Yujie revealed a pleased smile on his face. What happened in the Sacred Beast's ancient realm a while ago, was it you, kid, who did it? There's nothing we can do about it. Who allowed those guys to be so arrogant? When Feng Yujie first heard that the Green Dragon Demon-Slain Broadsword had appeared at the Holy Tree, she knew it was Chen Xiang's doing. Besides, Hong Xia and Ji Linger were also there. Aunt Feng, how many pills do you have here? I want some, not too many, just 1,000 each for Tier 2, Tier 3, or Tier 4 immortal pills. I plan to sell them in Yen City, but the price will be a little lower than in Super Holy School. Chen Xiang said. If Feng Yujie had it, he wouldn't have to refine it himself and could quickly sell his Luyuan Azure Dan. I don't have many pills here, but I do have a lot of medicinal ingredient. Although the price of the medicinal ingredients are very high now, with my many years of connections, even if I rely on the alchemy powers in the Super Holy School, they would all secretly sell to me for a cheap price. Feng Yujie said, "Your pill refining speed is so fast, I can just give you the ingredients, furthermore you have so many pills in one furnace. Oh right, you can refine Luyuan Azure Dan now." Qin Xiang laughed. "Didn't I say it earlier? How about we compete?" When Feng Yujie lost to Qin Xiang last time, she already had a shadow in her heart. If it was another person compared to him, she would be full of confidence. "Forget it, just in case I get attacked by you." Feng Yujie scoffed. "Aunt Feng, you are the pill saint. You should have some confidence." Qin Xiang laughed. Feng Yujie rolled his eyes at Qin Xiang and said, "It's normal if you lose to me, but if I lose again, there will be a devil in my heart and I still won't be able to win." "Aunt Feng, what kind of conditions did Super Holy School give you when they tried to rope you in?" Qin Xiang asked. "The conditions are good. They agreed to give me 5 types of holy level medicinal herbs, but I already have them all. Adding on to that, you have that kind of heaven-defying ability. I think I won't lack any holy level medicinal herbs in the future." Feng Yujie said, "They don't want to control my Divine Feather School, they just want me to join their Super Holy School, and my Divine Feather School is also a reader. They only want the outside world to think that I, too, am under their control, creating a false impression that my Super Holy School is very powerful. In that case, they don't need you to work for them. The H.E.L. Devil Envoy came here to talk to me, but I haven't seen the H.E.L. Devil Envoy at all, and the H.E.L. Devil Emperor can't come here either. His strength is only so. I am not afraid of them and can only ask me to sell my soul. I can't do it, but maybe one day I will get lucky and enter the G.O.D.S. realm." Feng Yujie giggled. "With your help, it's very possible that I'll enter G.O.D.S. realm." The G.O.D.S. realm was a place that the likes of Feng Yujie and the rest, who had reached the pinnacle, yearned for. If he sold his soul to the H.E.L. Devil Emperor, then there would be no hope of entering the G.O.D.S. realm at all. Qin Xiang thought for a while, then said, "If I'm the only one who goes to G.O.D.S. realm, then it's fine if I don't go. I'm too lonely." "That's true. I heard that you have quite a few women, so you can't bear to part with them, right?" Feng Yujie said with a smile. "When the time comes, I might be able to bring them up with me. I wonder if there will be any consequences." Qin Xiang touched the ring on his finger. "If we go to the G.O.D.S. realm under the influence of that place, my powers will definitely increase very quickly." Feng Yujie shook his head. "When we go to G.O.D.S. realm, I will need the G.O.D.'s guidance. I heard that all the divine treasures and weapons will be taken away, so putting people in storage rings is not possible. This is a matter for the future, let's talk about it in the future. Moreover, we don't know much about the G.O.D.S. realm." Qin Xiang spread his hands. Qin Xiang asked for a secret room from Feng Yujie, and then took the medicinal ingredients Feng Yujie gave him to refine the pills. At the moment, the situation between Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu was a bit more complicated. After consuming the holy pellet, not only did his injuries recover, but his strength would also increase rapidly. He didn't know when he would come out of seclusion, so he could only wait patiently. After staying in the secret room for more than 10 days, Red Cloud and Ji Linger had already successfully replicated his fire soul. Furthermore, they had stabilized and could use strong flames. Seeing Qin Xiang coming out of the secret room with Ji Linger and Red Cloud, Feng Yujie guessed that they had been staying in Qin Xiang's storage magic treasure the entire time. "The last time I saw you, you didn't seem to have this powerful flame aura." Feng Yujie was a pill saint and had an extremely high fire cultivation. Although Red Cloud and Ji Linger had very strong flames, they were still very unfamiliar with controlling it, and it was difficult for Feng Yujie to suppress that aura, so it was much easier for Feng Yujie to see them. Chen Xiang asked the two girls to tell him the details. Feng Yujie was not an outsider and was a pill saint. It would be best if he could be honest with her. When Feng Yujie heard about it, she was shocked. She knew that the Holy Spirit fire was very mysterious, but she never expected it to be even stronger than she had imagined. Aunt Feng, you have nothing better to do right now anyways, so you should just teach them the basics of refining pills. They are all very smart and should be able to grasp it very quickly. Chen Xiang said. It's fine for them to learn alchemy from me, but if they want to take me as their master, then I won't casually pass down my alchemy skills to others. Feng Yujie laughed slyly. Earlier, Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu were taken in by her as foster daughters, and now Ji Linger and Red Cloud were taken in by her as disciples. Of course, I prefer them to be my daughters. Feng Yujie's smile was extremely playful. Seeing the naughty smile on Feng Yujie's face, Chen Xiang secretly cursed in his heart. This Feng Yujie was definitely doing this on purpose. Seeing the naughty smile on Feng Yujie's face, Chen Xiang secretly cursed in his heart. This Feng Yujie was definitely doing this on purpose. Aunt Feng, isn't your daughter a little too many? Chen Xiang said snappily. Are you doing this on purpose? Ji Linger and Hong Xia didn't think that Feng Yujie would accept them as his daughter, nor did they think that his relations Hi+P with Feng Yujie would be so good. They only needed to casually recommend them to become the daughter of a pill saint. Feng Yujie laughed and said, What's there to be proud about? It's just that every time you bring girls here, they're always this outstanding. I really like them. And it's also because I trust you, I believe in your judgment, that's why I took them as my foster daughters. I just don't know if you're willing to be my adopted daughter. Feng Yujie smiled sweetly at Hong Xia and Ji Linger. This beautiful Aunt Feng, with her mischievous and charming appearance, gave off a unique charm. Of course, and Hong Xia were willing. The two girls hurried over and held Feng Yujie's arms. They chatted and laughed, and not long after, they became one. They did not look like mother and daughter at all, but they looked like sisters. Although Chen Xiang had addressed Feng Yujie as Aunt Feng, she was not old at all. Even though her appearance was ordinary, she had a unique temperament, and would not lose out to her because she did not have a beautiful appearance. This old demoness isn't simple. I didn't notice before that she had actually changed her appearance. No, she must have used some sort of transformation technique. Now we can see that her face isn't her original appearance. Long Shui suddenly said, This woman is too sinister, taking all the women by your side as her daughter. What will you do in the future? If you fall in love with her daughter, she will be your mother-in-law. At this moment, Feng Yujie, Ji Linger and the others were laughing and joking at the side. Feng Yujie was originally a mischievous old demon, and Chen Xiang was very worried that she would lead and Red Cloud wild. Aunt Feng! Chen Xiang suddenly shouted with a serious expression, causing the three women to stop. What's wrong? Feng Yujie asked. Aunt Feng, they have already acknowledged you as their mother, and you and I are already so familiar with each other. Chen Xiang said righteously, as he really wanted to see Feng Yujie's true appearance. Feng Yujie laughed tenderly. I didn't think that you would still be able to tell, but I'm only showing it to my daughter, so I've already met you and Meiyao before. After she finished speaking, she even mischievously stuck out her tongue at Chen Xiang, causing him to feel a little angry in his heart. Go back to work. I will teach my daughters how to refine pills. Feng Yujie laughed. Don't use any tricks to peek at me, it's useless against me. Chen Xiang sighed gloomily and returned to the secret room. Why don't I get you some of those pills and bring this Aunt Feng down, hee. Long Shui laughed sinisterly. Don't think that I'm that kind of person. I feel that this Aunt Feng is not as simple as a pill saint. Chen Xiang said. Now that Divine Feather School is facing Super Holy School so easily, she must still have some tricks up her sleeve. Long Shui said, so you just need to leave the matter of dealing with the super holy school to her and the Yen clan. You just need to prepare properly and go sell your pills in Yen City. Chen Xiang had thought that Feng Yujie had Tier 7 immortal medicines, but Feng Yujie had told him that she had refined them a while ago, and they were extremely scarce now. If Chen Xiang wanted to obtain it, he could only use a large number of holy stone to purchase it, so he wanted to sell the pellets to earn the holy stone. In the past month, Chen Xiang had refined many low-leveled immortal pills in the secret room, which was enough for him to support his image. After coming out from the secret room, he immediately went to look for Feng Yujie. This month, Feng Yujie had always been very careful in guiding Red Cloud and Ji Linger in refining pills. Red Cloud and Ji Linger already had a very good foundation in terms of pills, and now that they had a very strong flame, it was easy for them to learn. What? You don't have confidence in me? You're worried that I won't be able to teach them well. When Feng Yujie saw Chen Xiang asking all sorts of questions, it was as if he was testing Ji Linger and Red Cloud. Chen Xiang laughed. How could I dare doubt you? I just want you to teach them another method. He injected the God purification and his many years of experience in pill refining into a pearl. It was equivalent to a type of inheritance. Aunt Feng, study carefully and see how you can combine your pill refining skills. After that, come up with a set of better methods to teach them. Chen Xiang Pas, said the inheritance bead to Feng Yujie. Feng Yujie had always been curious about Chen Xiang's refining skills. She never thought that Chen Xiang would hand it over to her so easily. You trust me so much. Feng Yujie smiled charmingly. Yeah, it's just that there are people who don't trust me. They don't even let me see their true appearances. Chen Xiang curled his lips and said, his voice carried resentment. Feng Yujie laughed tenderly. Why do you care so much about my looks? Chen Xiang said, who cares, I just want to see how you look like and why you don't dare to use your true face. Actually, I'm doing this for your own good. I'm worried that you won't be able to resist the temptation from me, and that it will affect you in the future, not because I'm narcissistic, but because I'm born with the same ability as the Mei Emperor back then. It's just that she specializes in this aspect, while I am a cultivator of the Tao of alchemy. Feng Yujie was serious. He did not seem to be fooling others. Is the Mei Emperor really that powerful? Just a glance at it would cause one to be enchanted. I don't believe in evil. Chen Xiang was very confident in his control. Ji Linger came to Chen Xiang's side and said in a low voice, it's true. Mother's power is really magical. Red Cloud also quickly persuaded, it's better not to look. It's really dangerous. The more they said this, the more Chen Xiang wanted to see them. Feng Yujie chuckled. Actually, my face can only be shown to women. If a man sees it, most likely he'll be in trouble. Chen Xiang said, Aunt Feng, you said that Mei Emperor's ability is stronger than yours. That's right, back then there were countless experts who were captivated by her, but only the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord, the wild beast, was fine. The rest of the strong of Lord stage had suffered, especially the Fire Emperor and the Ice Emperor, although they had that kind of relations. Hi+P, but they still got along harmoniously, and that is all the power of the Mei Emperor. Feng Yujie giggled. If you want to prove that you're really strong, then go and try out with the Mei Emperor and you'll find out. I know how to find her. Just like Long Shui had guessed, Feng Yujie was not simple as he knew many secrets of the 9 heaven world from the past. How do I find her? Chen Xiang was really not afraid of the Mei Emperor. She should be in Ditian now. Take this. When you return to Ditian, inject your God power into this pearl and activate it. Then, she will come and find you. Feng Yujie tossed a white pearl to Chen Xiang. Remember, if she acts against you, you can immediately crush this pearl, and I can save you once. Otherwise the consequences will be severe. Chen Xiang took the pearl and held it tightly. He asked, what kind of grave consequences will there be? Chen Xiang took the pearl and held it tightly. He asked, "What kind of grave consequences will there be?" Su Meiyao's and Bai Yuyu's enemy was the Mei Emperor. If there was a chance, he would help them take revenge. In two cases, firstly, she used her charm to control you and made you her slave. Secondly, she used the evil art of collecting the sun to replenish Yin, sucking up all your energy, which was extremely terrifying. In those days, several experts who had the opportunity to challenge the throne only slept with her for one night before they became ordinary people. As Feng Yujie spoke of this, his face became serious. At the side, Hong Xia and Ji Linger were both worried. They did not wish for Chen Xiang to lose to Mei Emperor. "Don't worry." Chen Xiang disapproved and laughed. "I'm going to Yen City, I'll be back after a while. You guys better study pill refining properly. In the future, I'll be like the Aunt Feng, a female pill saint." Chen Xiang patted the two girls' shoulders. Then, he left the Divine Feather School and headed towards Yen City. Yen City's Yen Qi had already come to find Feng Yujie before, and discussed the matter of the alliance in secret. The moment Chen Xiang came to the Yen clan, he was warmly received, and the butler of the Yen clan even brought Chen Xiang to that shop. Previously, Yen clan had helped Chen Xiang publicize the sale of Luyuan Azure Dan. Now that Chen Xiang had come to Yen City and confirmed the timing of the sale, he would release the exact information. The Yen clan released the news, so it must be real and effective. Even though Yen City was not in a very good situation, the Luyuan Azure Dan continued to rush to Yen City. Right now, a single pill was hard to find, even with holy stone. Especially high-grade immortal pills, many people rushed into Yen City because there were 45 of them to be sold. Other than that, Chen Xiang also took out a few low-leveled immortal pills, causing many of the people who came to take them to the immortal pills to not be disappointed. Chen Xiang had not started selling yet, but the street where his shop was already bustling with noise and excitement. Initially, Chen Xiang had wanted Hong Xia and Ji Linger to help him, but now that they were learning from Feng Yujie, it was not good to call them over. After Chen Xiang and the Yen clan's butler finished looking at the shop, he confirmed that it would start selling tomorrow. He let the butler return to his shop and decided that he would take a stroll in Yen City. Right now, there was only one busy street in Yen City. He could only walk around here. Just as he was about to return to his shop in the evening, he saw two familiar faces. One was a dark-skinned teenager, and the other was an old man with messy hair. These are Huang Jintian and Mao. After Huang Jintian and Chen Xiang arrived at the Absolute Monarch Sanctuary, he went to look for cats on his own. Chen Xiang thought that Huang Jintian and the cats only knew how to kill saint beasts in the wild. They didn't know how to do it in the wild. Huang Jintian just so happened to be in need of helpers. Huang Jintian and Mao's appearance now was just the right time to help. "Master," Chen Xiang asked Huang Jintian via sound transmission, "why are you two here?" Huang Jintian immediately looked towards Chen Xiang, and then pulled on Mao's clothes and walked over with Mao. "I knew you were the big seller of medicinal pills, but I didn't expect to find you so quickly." Huang Jintian laughed as he sent a sound transmission to Chen Xiang. Chen Xiang brought the two of them into the shop. "I didn't expect you to become so powerful." Cat was very surprised, because the last time he had met Chen Xiang was much weaker than him. Hee, it's great that you guys are here. Help me sell the pills." Chen Xiang took out a few jade bottles, then told them the price of the immortal pills inside, and told them all the holy stone that he sold them. Huang Jintian laughed. "I knew that you are doing well, coming to find you was not wrong." Cat was holding 2 bottles of Tier 3 immortal pills. There were more than 3,000 of them, and each pill could sell for a lot of holy stone. If he sold them all, the resulting holy stone would be hard for Cat to imagine. Chen Xiang did not take the holy stone seriously. He sold these low-leveled immortal pills to agitate the super holy school. Remember, you can only buy 1 per person at that time. It's best to remember their auras, but don't sell those that have similar auras to them. After Chen Xiang finished speaking, Long Shui appeared in front of Huang Jintian and Mao. Long Shui smiled at the two of them and said, "These pills cannot be sold to Super Holy School. At that time, I will take a good look. If anyone from Super Holy School purchases them, I will remind you." Huang Jintian and Mao had been here for more than 10 days, and they had some understanding of the situation here, especially the matters of the Super Holy School. Huang Jintian asked, "Since Super Holy School is roping in so many forces, it's not necessary to get the disciples of their sect to buy it. Just get the subsidiary forces to buy it." Long Shui laughed. "Actually, selling these low-leveled elixirs is nothing to them. We just have to make a fool of ourselves with our Super Holy School, so when a disciple of our sect comes to buy them, we will personally tell them that we will not sell these elixirs to your Super Holy School." Huang Jintian laughed and understood Long Shui's words. This is to make things difficult for Super Holy School. Actually, it's fine for the disciples of the Super Holy School to buy it, but we will tell them that if they want to buy it, they will have to pay 10 times the price, even though these guys have raised the price so high. Chen Xiang said, "Aren't you afraid of the old fellows of Super Holy School coming? It's not good to fight. The Super Holy School is very strong." He had already heard that there were 2 powerful Beast Kings who had joined the Super Holy School, and they were both famous Beast Kings. "Don't worry, Yen City is not a pushover. With me making a ruckus like this, Yen Clan will definitely support me." Chen Xiang laughed. "Sleep well tonight, there might be a fight tomorrow. I already sensed that a few old geezers from the Super Holy School are outside strolling." Huang Jintian stretched his back and yawned. "That's fine, I want to experience the strength of the people in the capital for the past few days." Cat replied, "I'm stronger than before. I don't need to fear the heavens. I also want to test my own strength." Long Shui laughed tenderly. "Don't take it seriously, maybe you guys won't even need to do anything tomorrow." This shop was very big but also extremely empty. Huang Jintian and Mao each found a luxurious room to rest in, while Chen Xiang and Long Shui stayed together. "The night pass," said quickly, and as soon as the sky brightened, Chen Xiang and the rest became alert and arrived at the entrance of the shop. They could sense that the group of people outside were mostly strong, and people who wanted to purchase high-grade immortal pills were definitely not ordinary people. Chen Xiang opened the door to the shop, and everyone immediately shouted at Chen Xiang to quickly sell the Luyuan Azure Dan. Luyuan Azure Dan were all for the immortal becoming realm, and the majority of the people coming to SN. ATC. Them were some strong old men. "Everyone, you must have come from afar to purchase Luyuan Azure Dan, but I only have 45 pills," Chen Xiang said in a clear voice. "Is your Luyuan Azure Dan selling for only 20 million kilograms of holy stone? Is the quality good?" "We only came because we believed in the Yen Clan," someone shouted.